Who's asking for a Labor Day rundown in my ear?
He's like, yes. No, there's someone asking for a Labor. It's the best. I hate that fucking guy. So do I. But the drops are great though. The best is when he gets all pissed off. He's like, so the president was in was in Houston this weekend.
He's having a chicken sandwich.
Whoa, 2 chicks. That's cool.
Who does that? Who has time?
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Your show is scheduled to start in 8 minutes 58 seconds.
Check, check, check. Hello, hello, check, 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 check. Sorry, Tony, I mean to scream in your ear, but this is starting to it's just dropping the levels. Check, check.
8 minutes until showtime.
That's too low. Hello, hello, check. Check. See what you do when you scream into that? It drops from like 100 to 84. I got to get it down to 70 right here. So when I go, check. No, but that's how it drops. Check. I am speaking normally, and nothing happens. Hello. Hello.
Who does that? Who has time?
I got you all the way faded up on that thing, too. Okay. Hello, hello.
Who does that?
That's good.
Who has time?
Check, check, check. It's good.
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
I hear you, bro. People were hitting me on Twitter about that
7 minutes until showtime.
Check. Okay. Tony, can you give me just a check on your microfist?
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2
Yes,
1 2.
and Robin's already good too.
What do you mean, you people?
Six minutes until showtime. Five minutes until showtime.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Welcome. So, this is the all-new Chevy Traverse. What do you think?
4 minutes until showtime. Three minutes until showtime. Two minutes until showtime. 1 minute until showtime. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
In the past 24 hours, we have learned facts and seen examples.
We
have been advised to leave it alone, to drop it. I just happen to believe that the people who entrusted Tony might just like to know all the facts, even the ones that no human mind today can explain.
Who does that? Who has time?
The worst thing of all is I watch it. I can't not look. It's like a drug. You can't resist it. It's an addiction.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the
Tony Bruno Show.
You like that? You like that?
Yes, you do. We want to thank all of you who have braved the elements, survived Snowmageddon, are getting plowed tonight. Well, we are too. Welcome aboard. No heavy lifting. It will be wet, it will be deep, and it will be fun. Sort of like my weekends around the city, even in the middle of the summer when it doesn't rain for a month. It is the Tony Bruno Show live. I know people still have a lot of snow out there, but we did this smart thing today. Tony Bruno, Miss Robin's here, Luigi's here, Jack in the back. We told him since it's his birthday, it was his birthday, what, yesterday or 2 days ago now? I can't keep track of all the March birthdays.
Yesterday, I think.
Jack, don't brave the elements. It's hot and slushy out there. It's wet and slushy.
You know, it's not hot. It's
No,
cold.
it's not hot.
It's cold and slushy.
But we have school closings for tomorrow already.
Already?
Because kids have not taken enough time off from school this year. I hope these kids all stay in school till like July now. They're all happy now because they get all these days off, and they're out protesting every other day. So when they are told, sorry, kids, you're going to go to school till 4th of July weekend. You want to see some pissed off kids then? Anyway, enough about the kids.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
This show's about everybody. Women, kids, no matter what your sexual preference is. Animals. I can't think of who else. Who am I leaving out?
Meaning that animals can watch, not if you have sexual preferences for animals.
No, that is correct. That's not the law yet, but it will be probably in my lifetime.
No.
Yes,
no,
it will.
It will never be the law.
How do you know, Robin?
Because
have you seen the way things are changing daily now?
No, because those of us who are sane are going to fight for consenting. You have to be able to consent, and animals, as far as we know so far, cannot consent.
By the way,
there's a woman talking in my ear about something that has nothing to do with what we're doing here.
Exactly. Thank you, Larry. Meanwhile, we've got...
You're going to get a lot of traction out of that.
We've got sad news tonight for our friends in Seattle. Seattle, of course, a beautiful city.
It is.
But what is it most known for?
Has great clam chowder.
Coffee?
Well, good coffee, but it's over. Nobody drinks Starbucks, by the way, in Seattle. You know that?
Yeah, good.
Fantastic.
They drank Seattle's best, don't they? That's like the best they have, right?
That's why it's called Seattle's
Of
best.
course.
Clam chowder.
But it's where
Clam chowder in Seattle.
No, clam chowder's everywhere.
It's New England
Boston,
clam chowder.
New England.
But they have fantastic clam chowder
Of course
there.
they do. They got clams right outside their door.
That clams outside of my door, too.
Well, yeah, that's it. We got crabs outside of your door, pal.
It used to be lobster, but I took a pay cut. You know what I'm saying? They don't come knocking
not
like
why the
they don't come
crabs are
knocking like
there.
they don't come knocking like they used to.
But of course, Seattle is also known for the birthplace of grunge. It's a depressing place because of the weather, primarily. It rains there all the time. It's a
For
place
some people.
Yeah, for some people. Obviously, it's a great city. I'm not
Like
knocking
you
Seattle.
would.
No, I couldn't live
you
there.
couldn't live there.
I'd visit there, but I can't live there because
No.
it rains too much.
You would die.
Dude, I would have to just basically keep STP and Nirvana and Alice in Chains,
Pearl Jam,
all
those guys.
Soundgarden, and the list goes on. And that's what they're playing tonight out loud. If you listen outside in Seattle, you'll hear this playing throughout the city. The 12th man flag has come down. The Legion of Boom has gone boom indeed.
Boom
We would
shot.
like to thank them. You hear they have a new chant, though, in Seattle tonight.
No, what is it?
They're taking after the Eagles, got Michael Bennett today. The new fight song will be Cry, Seahawks, Cry on the Road to Mediocrity.
Oh, nice.
That's what they'll be playing now. And we'd
Very
like
nice.
to thank Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, who obviously made the smart decision in going to the New York Yankees to play baseball. Now that his defense is being dismantled one player at a time. And it happens. Teams get older, and they have to make changes. And now not just Michael Bennett, who we will get into tonight, with Sheil Kapadia is going to join us in our second hour.
I'm excited. I haven't talked to him in forever.
Now,
I've never
we could
talked
have
to him, so.
anybody on the show. But I said the first person I thought of when I saw this trade,
Was
Michael
Sheil.
Bennett. Sheil Kapadia knows more about the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles than anybody else you'll know out there. There's a lot of talking heads on TV who will now sit down and pretend to be experts, pretend that they know what's going on in Seattle, pretend that they know what's going on in Philadelphia because they have a podcast. Sheil works for The Athletic. He knows what's going on in Seattle, and he knows what's going on with the Eagles. And we will break down what's going on here, which we all know is the Eagles just added another Pro Bowl defensive lineman to the mix. It probably means Vinny Curry will be bringing back his Cherry Hill Dodge or whatever car company he's pimping, but not until the weather gets nice.
Now, right now, that four-wheel drive is kicking in pretty good right
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like he's the odd man out. We'll ask Sheil, and we'll talk about it tonight. But it's a big story in the NFL. A lot of trades. You don't see trades a lot in
Normally in
football.
NFL, you don't see that happen.
No.
No. And now what were the details of it? It was Michael Bennett and a 7th-round pick.
And also wide receiver Marcus Johnson, who will have a Super Bowl ring to take to Seattle. Now, he was one of the younger guys that didn't play much.
Right, but the Eagles are sending Marcus Johnson along with is it a 5th rounder? Am I reading that correctly? It was a 5th-round pick back to Seattle.
Yes.
In return, they get Bennett and the 7th, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And Jimmy Kemsky.
Jimmy Kemps.
You remember Jimmy Kemsky?
Jimmy
We got
Kemps.
a chance to hang out with him in Minnesota
at the media party.
At the Super Bowl media party when I was busting his chops. And Brandon Lee Galton was there, and I was talking trash to those guys.
We met them right around the corner from where the home plate was for Metropolitan Stadium, where you and I did a reenactment. Yep.
And I was busting Jimmy's chops. But he broke it down really succinctly today. So the Eagles traded a 7th-round pick and offensive lineman Matt Tobin to Seattle.
The great Matt Tobin.
For a 5th-round pick. Then Seattle trades a 7th-round pick and Michael Bennett for a 5th-round pick and Marcus Johnson.
Oh, so the Eagles traded the 5th-round pick they acquired.
Yeah, exactly.
For Matt.
So
Okay.
remember when they did the Matt Tobin trade
Yes.
last year, the former lineman here. And so that's basically what happened when you break it all down to levels beyond scientific.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, man, they got to start cutting the fat somewhere, and Vinny Curry looks like he's going to be one of the guys who has to get
And
cut.
it's not even about that Vinny's not a good
No,
player.
but he's not playing for the contract. I'm sorry.
Vinny Curry makes $11 million.
It's a huge amount of money, man.
And Michael Bennett makes $8.5 million.
Correct.
So they're still going to be over the cap by $11 million, but they'll redo some deals, and we'll talk about it. Give me
You
a little
promise?
more. Give me a little bit more of some grunge here. Play this tonight for all my friends in Seattle. Firing up a bong.
Speaking of people firing stuff up and playing for anything, I would have much rather been over in London for the ELO concert. You showed me the video of.
Man.
That was incredible, bro. Was that 2014? That concert was right.
That
The
No,
outdoor
it
concert?
wasn't. It was 2016.
2016.
No, it wasn't. It was 2014, Robin. It was. Jeff Lynne, the lead singer of ELO.
This was incredible. We were watching it upstairs. This was amazing.
And I don't normally watch MTV unless I'm catfishing somebody.
But this wasn't MTV. This was BBC.
No, but BBC produced it, but it was on. So I'm, you know me. I'm
Tony
staying
is
up.
correct. It was on September 14th, 2015.
Thank you, Robin. We like to be accurate on the show. When I'm wrong, I want you to correct me.
I do.
And that's the way it works on this show. Because if you don't correct me or Luigi doesn't correct me, the folks out there following the show live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on Periscope, following us all over the place.
We got a room full of fact checkers here, Tony.
Yes, we do. And microphone checkers, too.
That's right.
Luigi was
Get
checking.
some facts and come back
Exactly.
and see me.
I was checking Mike's earlier.
Yes, you were. And you were flipping the switches. And
yeah.
I won't go the rest of the way because that's not nice.
Of course.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you know what the first thing Michael Bennett tweeted?
Something.
What?
You know what he tweeted out as his first tweet since becoming an Eagle? It was a photograph of him in an Eagles jersey wearing number 72.
That's Vinny
And it's a
Curry's
great
jersey.
photo. Yeah, I know. And he wrote, "Free Meek Mill." That was his first tweet.
Oh, there you go. He's already a fan favorite.
And you know who else is triggered today? No, not just the normal people.
Who isn't triggered?
Just not the normal people on Twitter, whether you're a right winger or a left winger, and somebody tweets something and you become triggered.
Hey, the Flyers going to use a winger by now.
Well, actually, speaking of that, you see who's coming back for the Flyers tonight after a long absence?
Oh, God. Who's coming back now? Oh, Wayne says Simmers. Simmers coming
What
back.
do you mean, who's coming
Simmers
back?
No, I tried to be a fan again. I hopped on. I got all this crap from the guys from Delco. I wore my Flyers shirt last night.
Ryan Simmons is back, Bo.
Yeah, well.
That's a big deal.
It's been a 15-8 goal differential in the past 3 games, so just saying.
No, they got to be able to stop the puck, but that guy's a presence out there.
And people are giving much love to Jeff Lynne. Jeff Lynne is a genius.
Oh,
man.
Jeff Lynne, ELO. Now, here's the amazing thing. We talk about guys getting. Do you realize that most of the icons in music are from the 60s and 70s for the most part?
For the most part, yeah. Well, they've had time to have their catalogs.
The British invasion. I mean, and that's one of the good things about being older is that I lived through the
You got to
British
experience it.
invasion and when music changed and rock and roll and all the different changes we've seen in music from the 60s when I was a kid. And now you're thinking ELO was 1970. They came on the scene.
Yeah.
That's when I started my career in radio. And then they broke up in like 85, right?
You want to see the
Well, no,
disparity? You had ELO. I had LFO.
LFO, yeah,
That's what I had.
So they started in 1972 is when they joined up together, and then in 1986 is when Jeff Lynne decided to call it quits. Prior to that, one of the co-founders, who was the drummer, he already split up. He left for
So the
whatever.
group went dark for a long
Yeah.
time. And then one of the other guys, the piano player,
Yeah, he was one of the original members that was at the concert, right?
yeah, he was playing back with him
what
at the
was his
show
name?
at Hyde Park.
Something-
In fact, the only other member
Tinger,
aside from Jeff
Tanger?
Lynne himself. Jeff
Yeah,
Lynne,
and-
I'm sorry.
And so now Jeff Lynne is sitting out there in L.A.,
Mhm.
and other people from the original band were
Richard Tandy.
Richard
Tandy.
Tandy. Not Jessica Tandy, of course.
No.
The great actress who was in a lot of stuff, but most notably with her husband, Hume Cronin, in the movie about all the old people that go into the swimming pool.
Cocoon.
Remember
And
the
Cocoon 2,
movie?
Return. The Return.
But she was also the one that driving Miss Daisy.
Yes, exactly.
That was Steve Gutenberg's Driving Miss Daisy. That's what that was right there. That was his Oscar award. That was when he stretched his legs from Police
Yes.
Academy. That was
See,
Steve
who
Gutenberg.
needs to watch the Oscars when you
Okay,
have this
get the-
kind of deep movie knowledge?
Steve Gutenberg.
But anyway, so the other members of ELO started forming like ELO tribute bands.
Well, Bevan, who was the drummer, he's
Right.
the one after ELO broke up or disbanded, he formed ELO 2.
Right.
And then
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, that's it.
and then
Great.
and then due to legal reasons, he ended up having to change the name because Jeff Lynne wouldn't have anything. I mean, you can't just suddenly
But
name
much
it.
like Creedence Clearwater Revival, remember, Creedence Clearwater Revival was a group, but
Right.
there was one guy who made it.
Yes.
And that's John Fogerty.
Right.
So there's still a Creedence band that goes around without John Fogerty.
Which makes no sense.
And then there's still John Fogerty who tours by himself and sings all the songs because he
He
wrote the
owns them.
songs and he owns them.
But
Yes.
Jeff was the one who actually formed one of the most famous groups with the Traveling Wilburys, and he's the one that no one even remembers.
Exactly.
Because he was the one guy I didn't remember. I named the rest of them, and I'm like, Tony's like, well, no, Jeff was the other guy. And I'm like,
and Jeff Lynne
that's the other guy.
wrote
Is
all
one-
the ELO
yeah,
songs.
he wrote all the songs, so he owns all the songs. So even though ELO 2 was formed, they weren't allowed to play any of the songs.
Right.
And
So
they-
now he's back. So they
yeah.
come back in 19 as a DJ in London. Did some because Jeff Lynne was thinking, nobody wants to hear these songs anymore. It's 45 years ago, and then the people grow up and the old people will go see
Nobody
these
wants to
concerts.
hear anymore, right?
Right. So then the DJ in London said, hey, you know what? He started playing some ELO stuff, and he called Jeff Lynne and said, you got to do this. Oh, we'll organize a concert in Hyde Park in London. And they sold 50,000 tickets in Hyde Park. And Jeff Lynne didn't think anybody would show up.
It was so funny because Jeff Lynne said in an interview afterwards that he honestly thought that the people that were there, all the 50,000 people, were there for the opening act, not for him. And he thought for sure that by the time he got up on stage, everybody would be leaving. By the way, Andy Silfies, who I am so glad to be hearing from again, I am so glad that he's okay. He said that he named his daughter, where did it go? Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Daughter Brooklyn after Jeff Lynne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Definitely not after the Nets.
Anyway, if you love ELO songs, and then so Robin, while we're watching this at 2:30 in the morning on MTV.
Because you got nothing else better to do.
And I said, Robin, I wonder if he's still touring. I said, I wonder if they're touring again, because that was in 2014, and then they're coming to Philadelphia ELO this summer.
They are.
Yes,
In
at the Wells
August.
Fargo Center. It won't be redone by then with the $250 million in renovations, but it'll be there. And I hate going to concerts in big barns like
We're
that.
going, homie.
I want to do it outside, man. It should be at the Mann Music Center.
It really should.
In the sun.
You know where it should be?
Under the
It
stars.
should be at the Art Museum on the steps right near Aikens Oval. You have all the people pour out into the
Absolutely, man.
Parkway. That's where it
It
should
should be during the Roots picnic, I believe.
But it's one every weekend.
Absolutely.
It's every weekend.
Anyway,
I'm
that's
sure Questlove won't mind playing the drums. It's not a big deal.
But anyway, if you find it on MTV, it's actually a BBC production. It's a great concert. Everybody sounds
but make sure
great.
you put in BBC ELO, because if you put in BBC in the search engine, you might pick up some other stuff.
No, it's on MTV, but it's
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, BBC
Well,
is
unless you
popular tonight. It'll be popular as many people are desperate and dateless, and they're looking for some
Unless
BBC.
you have Safe Search on, you
Exactly
might find
right.
something you're not quite expecting.
Who does that? Who
Well, a
has
lot of people
time?
who are, they've been stuck in the house for a while. The weather sucked, and there's or.
And there's
Never mind.
there is nothing worse
Power
than
line-
there's
line-
nothing worse than a surprise BBC.
Exactly right, baby.
Hey, power lines are down, but the Wi-Fi's up. You know what I'm saying, homie?
When that person shows up, you say, Doctor Who! No, not Doctor Who. This is the wrong BBC. Anyway,
I need
enough
to
about
clarify
that.
If you want the BBC, then it's great. But
It's
if
easy
you're
to find.
surprised by
Excuse
it,
me while
maybe
I
not
whip
so
this
good.
Exactly,
out.
thank you.
Just saying.
I don't really watch the BBC. It's this unless there's like
I love the BBC.
because it's all these slow-moving British things. And
Robin.
all this royalty stuff that Robin likes. This slow-moving, tedious.
Can I say? So we were watching. What show were we watching? And every 3 seconds, Tony had to have me translate. And I'm like, they're speaking English.
No, they're not.
Not speaking English. They're speaking freaking
Listen,
rubbish.
I like,
is what they're speaking.
My two favorite British BBC shows of all time, of course, are Monty Python and Benny Hill. I mean, that's it.
What was the
because you
one
can
with the
understand-
department store? That department store show.
I don't
That
know.
was like really, really.
Downtown
Tower,
Abbey?
No, something Tower. No, that was
Faulty Towers?
No.
I'm just gonna put BBC in here. See
the
what
one.
happens.
The one where she says, "Do you want to pet my pussy?" That's the one that you're talking about, right?
No.
No, that was
Yeah,
on
no, the-
Saturday Night Live.
No, the blue-haired chick from
Would you
the
like to
the
touch my
department.
monkey? Oh, no, that was a different thing.
No.
Meanwhile, enough about this stuff. This isn't a music show, although we are musical geniuses here.
We are.
We throw it down.
You
big
are.
time.
You are the John Lennon of your
Thank you.
generation, Tony.
But it's good to see old guys still cranking it.
Are
know,
you-
like Jeff Lynne.
Thanks to modern medicine.
Are you being served? That's the one that you're thinking of.
No, they were in
I
the.
don't know about
Yes,
these shows.
yes, they were. It
Yes.
happened in a department store. Yes.
Are you being served?
Are you being
And
served?
It's the blue-haired gal.
That's what the PPA says when they
Exactly.
show up with another notification that I'm a scofflaw. Yes, I'm being served.
The
And
blue.
he served another glass of red wine
And-
tonight, so we pour one
Right
out.
behind you.
We pour one out for the Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom and for Pete Carroll and company tonight.
A lot of people chiming in. Are you being served? So yes. That's
Yes,
the one.
we are.
And
We're
that's-
serving ourselves, actually.
You know what we served up tonight though for dinner before we got in there? We got the nice Coq-au-Vin.
Yeah, Robin today said, let's do a little comfort food. So Coq-au-Vin.
For those of you who do not know what Coq-au-Vin is,
Coq-au-Vin, if you want to be French.
coq is rooster in French.
Well, chicken, but
No, actually,
I
Coq-au-Vin.
know.
It's literally rooster because
Correct.
chicken is a different
But
word.
when you go into the supermarket, into Acme or wherever your favorite supermarket is, you're not looking for rooster. You're getting chicken, you're getting legs, thighs.
Oui, but the literal translation
I understand
is
the literal
rooster,
translation.
Coq-au means in the wine.
Wine. And we did that.
Cock in wine.
Exactly.
That's what it means.
Coq-au-Vin. And then, of course, Luigi and I did our normal
Mount Rushmore Cocos, and we had Coco Beware.
Coco Beware is a great one.
Coco Chanel.
Right. Coco Crisp. Now let's see if the people out there listening follow in, because this is one of my legendary stream of consciousness things that I've been doing on radio for 100 years. You mention a name, and then you immediately start thinking of anything that sounds like it or runs along. Right. So we just gave you 3 Cocos.
Right. And we're asking the people to call in and give us their favorite Coco. It's 619-924-9874, 619-924-9874 to join in the conversation along with the people on Facebook.
Sheil Kapadia coming up in the next hour. We'll
Phone
break
lines
down
are
the
lighting
Eagles
up.
train. National Cereal Day. Speaking of Coco, how about Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Krispies.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm coming up with all these Cocoa things.
Cocoa
Not
Puffs.
cocaine.
Not
cocaine. Not cocaine.
Cocaine. Oh, man. There's a lot of famous Cocos out here.
Yes, there is.
A lot of Cocos.
We just gave about 10 of them out, so there can't be that many left.
Nah,
but I'm sure there
people
are.
can come up with a lot.
Well, don't
of
forget
them.
about Coco Crisp, the actual baseball
No,
baseball player,
player.
Coco Crisp, former
Yes,
Athletic
played
A.
for every team.
Basically, yes. Yeah. Coco.
Coq-au-Vin was excellent. Even Luigi.
No, that was good. With Robin did a little gnocchi inside.
in
It was
there,
beautiful. We had the
Coco-
bread.
Oh, and the wine sauce. Yeah, it was so good. Even though you're using dark meat, but I don't usually like dark meat unless I'm dating.
I don't give a shit.
But because we eat wings, which is dark meat. We eat chicken legs, which are dark meat.
Yeah, but I'm not a big chicken leg guy.
I'm a wing and chicken leg guy, but when you're making basically a stew,
You need the flavor.
the flavor of the dark meat is much better than
It holds up better.
Exactly. So it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
And we already have phone lines lighting up. We have we got Jose's down in Clearwater, so
Yes,
we got
he
a
is.
Clearwater update, and we have Jason from Independence, Iowa, who has some football talk.
Independence, Iowa.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll get to the phones in a few seconds.
Yeah,
All right.
so definitely call us with your Coco input.
Or cocaine input, whatever you
Well,
want
no,
to
we
do.
don't
No,
cocaine
it's
in the
Coco.
I know there was a lot of snow on glass tabletops around the entire country last night.
Plenty.
Especially in L.A., where there's a big dusting every weekend.
Are you kidding me,
On-
dude? Are you kidding me? There's always a chance of flurries. What are you talking about?
Flurries. There's blizzards.
Talk about Noreaster. Shit.
Oscar weekend, there were blizzard conditions in the Hollywood Hills. Are you kidding me? On Sunday night, there was more Coke on glass coffee tables than there has been here in South Philly during Armageddon. And by the way, I got to give up love to Joe Corrado, our buddy Forza Corrado, who hasn't appeared on the show now in 2 decades.
That's been a while.
But he's always on Luigi's show, Funk and Fantasy, and he does a great job on there. But he had the best recommendation for those of you who are in an area here in the northeast part of the United States where you didn't get a lot of snow, you maybe got a couple of inches. Don't go out and shovel the snow.
Really?
And that's a great tip. Here's why. If you got snow on your car, it's heavy, wet snow, right? And obviously, I put the wipers up before it snows. You get the wipers up.
So white.
Because if you put them down, then you try to get this heavy, wet snow off. A lot of people's windshield wiper blades, their motors could go because it's such heavy snow that sometimes it'll stop the blade halfway in motion because it doesn't have the strength to push it. So that's why I put them up. Then you wipe your windshield off first, and since it's heavy, wet snow, and it's already almost the middle of March, it's not going to be as cold out there. Now, in some places, it'll get down, and you got to be careful driving. But once this stuff is out of the way, and you let it melt by tomorrow in our area here, this is all be gone. Right. Even though they don't plow here anyway. It'll just be filling up the potholes. Where trees haven't fallen down and covered up the potholes like at Broad and Morris, right around the corner from us.
No, here they just make it bigger. They make the potholes bigger because they don't use the right proper stuff.
Exactly. That's another issue for another show. Exactly.
Anyway. Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I am wrapping it up. You just started the show. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding, Tone.
Should we go?
We got heavy phones.
We have heavy phones.
Heavy phones.
And we'll have Heavy D and the boys a little later on.
Are they coming around?
Yeah, they're coming back.
Nice, man.
Even though Heavy B's no longer with us. Let's go to the phones.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we? Now I had Jose on last night, so why don't we go to Jason from Independence because he's got some football
Not
talk.
Independence, Missouri.
No.
Independence, Iowa.
Yeah, let's go to Jason.
There's an Independence. It's like Springfield. There's a Springfield in every state, and there's an
There is.
Independence in every state. Let's go to Iowa, where of course the great Iowa Hawkeyes and my personal friend, the great Kirk Ferentz, cranking out NFL big boy linemen year after year after year up there in the corn-fed area that we know as Iowa, in the heartland of America. What's going on up there tonight, man? You got any snow out in Iowa tonight?
No.
About any corn?
We got a couple inches, but not that bad.
Oh, right, driving a combine, not the combine in Indianapolis.
No. Yeah.
Are you okay, Jeff?
Yeah. Yep.
Dynamite drop-in money. That broadcast school has really paid off.
What's on your mind tonight, sir?
You think the Cardinals should get a QB of the agency, or you think there's a quarterback in the draft that Arizona should pick?
Well, luckily we have a draft Nick and a man who's already put together his mock draft board while he was drinking mock draft lights last night over at Moonshine.
No, I've not put together the Luigi 2.3.4.0 yet. I haven't gotten to 1 point. The combine has just ended, but I do feel that the
There'll be a bunch of quarterbacks
there's
taken.
There's gonna be plenty
but
taken.
Who would have thunk a couple of months ago that when you look around at free agent quarterbacks available,
yes,
that the number one name now that's surfacing everywhere is Nick Foles?
Isn't that funny?
Now, I got a lot of them are rumors. Mike Jarecki is a friend of mine in Phoenix. He's on local radio and TV. There was a fake Mike Jarecki tweeting out yesterday that the Arizona Cardinals were going to offer a first and second round pick for Nick Foles,
which is insane.
And a lot of people fell for it and were like, "Oh, I'd jump at that in a heartbeat." But that wasn't it was a fake tweet. So now there's all Nick Foles rumors going on all over the place. Kirk Cousins, who remember back in the middle of the season, everybody had Kirk Cousins going to where? The 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Because they need a court. But then
he's going back home with Schottenheimer, too.
And then they go and get Jimmy
I mean,
Garoppolo in a trade.
Shanahan, I'm sorry, Shanahan.
They go up and get Jimmy Garoppolo.
Huge trade for them. Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like, oh, there's not going to be as much demand now. Kirk Cousins' situation's drying up.
Yep.
His situation is better than ever now.
Yep.
You've got every team that needs a quarterback looking at either Kirk Cousins as far as available free agent quarterbacks there, and Nick Foles. Right? Kirk Cousins obviously has been a starter the last few years. Washington botched that deal up with the franchise tag year after year. They could have signed a guy for multiple years a couple years ago and saved themselves some money.
But a team like Arizona, it would behoove them to go ahead and sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, but also draft a young quarterback in this draft because he's got a lot of quarterbacks in it. Because you got a young wide receiver core with Larry Fitzgerald coming back to anchor it. Plus David Johnson comes back from the injury. So for Kirk Cousins to go to Arizona would make a lot of sense. I think he would instantly have success there.
He's going to get big money. And a couple of months ago, people thought he'd been priced out of the market. But he's not, because somebody's going to sign him to a big-time deal.
Well, after Garoppolo got that kind of a monster contract, you know Kirk Cousins is going to command a hell of a lot more.
And you know who's waiting for Kirk Cousins to sign?
Carson D. Wentz, my brother.
No.
Who?
More importantly, Wentz isn't up right now.
He will be up next year.
You know who's waiting for that deal to get done?
Who's that?
Your man in Green Bay.
Oh, A-Raj?
Yep, Aaron Rodgers is waiting. Hey, thanks for checking in tonight, man. Appreciate the call. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Were you watching the Combine over the weekend?
I saw some of it, Tony. I checked in just for a few of the highlights that were going on. I really don't sit there and try to evaluate talent on a sideline of my couch because none of us are actual NFL scouts.
That's where I do my best talent evaluation on my couch.
You do something on that couch.
Sitting in my underwear.
The people sitting around going, oh, well, I've been looking at this guy. I think we can get him in the 5th round if we play our cards right. Get that. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, guys.
I was so inspired though, the little bit that I watched, that I actually did a 200-pound bench press twice before I got out of bed.
Damn, Cat's put on some weight, man.
And I pushed myself up once. I said, I'm going back to bed for 5, hit the snooze. And then I pushed my body weight up a second time. I said, that's it for bench pressing today. And then I ran out to my car because I forgot something in there. And I ran my fastest 40 ever. But then John Clark from NBC local here came by and said it wasn't official because it was wind-aided because the wind was blowing 50 miles an hour.
Put a PPA guy out there. You're running 44 flat. You kidding me? Every time the Combine comes out, I have to go to the gym. I got to slap 2 1/4, and I got to see if I can get it up.
Exactly.
I hit it for 16.
I used to do.
That's not bad though, man. I'm 100. I'm $190. I'm not training, so 2 1/4 for 16 is pretty good.
I bet you I could put 225 up on a flat bench twice right now, and I haven't done it in years. I used to do 225 on a flat bench. Like 15 reps.
You were The major gun
I was
machine.
jacked.
You were jacked.
Not Jack in the back.
No, Jack in the back.
He's not here. Hey, Robin, stop pointing to the thing. What do you think? I'm stupid here? She's like pointing to the thing like I don't know about the phone calls.
There's insanity in the control room.
Yes, there is.
Someone in that control room is out of control.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Larry.
We got plenty of phone calls.
And you
Stop
know,
the hammering, Robin.
you know who is out of
Stop
control?
the hammering.
Stop the hammering. I'll write it and we'll do it live. No, that's a different guy.
That's a
fucking sucks. It fucking sucks
Yes,
to be out here.
It does.
With this out of control shit.
This is out of control shit. Let's go back to the phones.
Who do you want? I got a live board, man. Who do you want?
Jose, did he leave?
No, he's still there. I got a ton of people here. I'll go to
I got
Jose.
to go to Jose and get an update from Clearwater because last week he told us that he was jumping on the big bird and flying, and he got out just in time. And he's down there. I saw he posted a picture from he's posting pictures from the beach.
Yeah, he was went to Buffalo Wild Wings today, man.
Dude.
Yeah, Jose's this. I told him last night, I said, Jose, put down the Miller Lights, and I invite you to try some of the cocktails of the land. Maybe try something with a rum, maybe a gin concoction.
Get a grouper.
Grouper.
Or group her before she runs away.
Right.
But anyway, let's go to Jose in Norristown.
What up?
Our official spring training representative down there who watched Aaron Nola fling a couple of solid innings in baseball action. What up, Jose?
What up, Bruno's? What up, Miss Robbins? What up, Luigi? What up? What up?
What
Jack
up?
and Roofs from the basement down in Jersey.
They're in Jersey. Now,
and
how many
what
games
up,
have you? Now, you got there when,
Paul?
Jose? You got there Sunday night?
Monday afternoon.
Oh, that's right. Did you go to Lenny's for breakfast?
Yes, and I saw What Up, Odubel Herrera.
Odubel Herrera was in Lenny's having breakfast in Clearwater?
Yes.
Wow, I told you that's the place to
That's
go.
classic, bro.
Now,
It's the only place to go, apparently.
It's Dean's birthday today, by the way. Dean in
And
Clearwater.
screw him.
You screw him. I already had him. He's a bad
You know what?
leg.
I'm calling him.
Oy, oy,
That's
oy,
hysterical
oy,
right there,
oy.
Tony, by the way.
So what do you think of have you been to Clearwater before?
And I saw the owner there. And I saw the owner today. Not once, but twice, but 3 times.
Wow. Did you watch Aaron Nola pitch today?
Yes, I did. He looked fantastic. 4 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, gave up 1 hit.
And there-
Shut down.
And there's your
Shut
report.
down your Boston Red Sox. Exactly right, man.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you
Next
know what we
stop
have
on the
tonight?
Jose Tour. What was that, Bruno's?
You know what we have tonight?
We have hockey action, yo.
And you know who's at the
What up?
barn tonight? Watching the Flyers
What
who are
up?
on NHL on NBC Wednesday night rivalry night for the Flyers and Penguins.
Trent Klatt.
Nope. Michael Kendrick's in the house.
Who cares?
He does. They didn't cut him yet.
Oh, okay.
They didn't trade him
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
So at least if he gets traded, he'll find out between periods tonight.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? In between the kiss cam, they got breaking news.
What's that, Jose?
Simmer's coming back tonight,
The
yo.
Simmer, yes, we broke that earlier on the program.
The salvation. Simmer
Yeah.
coming back. Hopefully
Damn
to help
right.
on the
Yeah.
defensive end and put some pucks in the net.
Damn right.
What up, pucks and net?
Exactly.
Speaking of pucks in net, how you doing out there, Jose? You getting any action or what?
Lots of action because in a matter of 24 hours, I invade Tampa, Florida.
Oh, you're going over to Tampa. You're going to Ybor City.
Little Mons Venus.
Go over to Dale Mabry Boulevard. Walk into the establishments. They don't have the 6-foot rule anymore, so you won't have to bring in a ruler to make sure you're 6 feet away from the dancers. You know, that was a big deal in Tampa years ago.
I came here to tip, not take measurements. All right, pal? What's going on?
They were the crowd that thought that the women were getting too close. They wanted to pass an ordinance in Tampa that women who dance with no clothes on
Could not get any
could
closer.
not get any closer than 6 feet from the customer.
Now, there's absolutely no way, however, that Jose can get more action than the night that he was out at the Jug Handle Inn with
Oh,
us
absolutely.
and got to sign breasts,
Yes.
and there was the body, the Playboy model that was getting body painted.
Yes. Were you there that night, Luigi, for that?
No, I wasn't.
Where the hell were you, man?
I wasn't. It was the one show I didn't make. That was
hate-
when you were working for the other station.
I hate to do it to you right now, this early in the show. Other than that, Jose.
Oh, yeah. Other than that, I invade Tampa. I get to say, what up, Raymond James Stadium?
beautiful.
What up Steinbrenner Field?
Steinbrenner Field to see some Yankee baseball. By the way, you know you got to go down there and see Dean from Clearwater, and you also have to see. You have to go to in Clearwater Beach before you leave. You got to go to the original Hooters. Do you know that's the birthplace of Hooters, Clearwater, Florida? Did you know that, Robin?
I didn't know that. Thank you.
And you know how I know that?
Why?
Because I know Tony Bruno.
I was there for the big anniversary party, man.
I bet you were, Tom.
Well, I mean, who
Well,
else?
are you going to make the pilgrimage to Mecca?
Yes, I will.
All right.
Once they open a Hooters. Ridiculous, man.
Yep.
Now Jose's with the traveling group right now.
Oh, really?
He's
with the Traveling Wilburys?
No, he's not with the traveling Wilburys.
Oh, okay.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
There aren't many of them alive left.
Tom Petty's.
Is Tom Petty still alive?
No, Petty just died.
Died not
Yeah,
that
he just
long
died.
ago.
Like everybody except for Jeff Lynne
Is
dead, right?
is what's his name still alive? Well, George Harrison's no longer with us,
Right.
obviously.
Roy Orbison
Roy
is
Orbison.
dead.
I saw Roy Orbison perform at the Valley Forge Music Fair in his last concert a couple of months before he died.
That's crazy, man.
I know. He was amazing.
So like 3 out of the 5 are dead, right?
Yeah, George Harrison, Tom Petty,
Roy Orbison.
Who else was in that band?
Bob
Bob Dylan.
Bob
Bob
Dylan.
Dylan.
Bob
Is he
Dylan's
still
dead.
alive?
Bob Dylan's still. No, he's still alive.
No, he died in 1990.
Did he?
Yeah.
Bob Dylan's dead.
Oh, Jim Keltner, he was a drummer. He's dead.
Bob Dylan is alive, Robin.
Bob Dylan's alive.
Bob Dylan is alive.
Oh, you remember we were just in
Yeah.
Minnesota
Look
where
over there, behind a tree. Look alive. See, he's over there. I'm telling you, Bob Dylan is alive and
How do
well.
you get Bob
I'm
Dylan's
sorry.
been dead
I'm
since
sorry.
1980?
No, I'm sorry.
His brain's
You're-
been dead since
Exactly.
then, but he's still alive.
Yours has been dead since 1976.
You're correct. He is 76. He was born in 1941, but he's still alive.
Ridiculous.
So Dylan and
Killing off all the members of the Traveling Wilburys.
Jeff
before they're all
Lynne
dead.
is still alive.
Yeah.
Jeff Lynne, they're the only ones.
And add the great Jose from
George
Norristown.
Harrison's dead. Tom Petty's dead. Roy Orbison's dead. Is Jim Keltner? Is he dead?
I don't know.
Jim.
Other than that, Jose.
No, Jim Keltner's still alive.
Okay, we don't want people prematurely dead.
So they're the only 3 that are still out of the 6. There were 6, not 5. They're still alive.
By the way, we got good parenting going on tonight by our good friend Keen.
Yes, it is.
Her
I just
daughter,
retweeted it, yeah.
her daughter is sitting down in front of a computer. She's not on any of these dumb sites. She's watching must-watch radio.
Speaking of good parenting,
Yes.
my future son-in-law is also watching, and he challenged you to a bench press, which I think.
Oh, you know, I destroy him on the
Oh,
flat.
please.
We're doing flattery.
What up, Yoshi?
Yeah, see, that's great. Yoshi. Yash knowledge. He calls him Yoshi.
Yeah, it's
But
Yash.
it's Yash.
Yash would destroy.
Of course he
you.
does. That's what he does for a living.
Destroy. Like he would destroy. Like if we combined all of our weights together, that we could weight lift, and I'm pretty good. Obviously, Luigi's pretty good. You're pretty, but he would still out
Train, but he's a competition
Wait a minute.
bodybuilder. I mean, I get
Luigi
good
and
reps.
I jacked up a completely full 30-gallon hot water heater up from my mother's basement last night.
He trains for that. Now I can walk onto a flat bench cold and throw up 2 1/4 16 times. If I train for it, I could probably get up a little bit more. However, I'm not going to put up the kind of weight he puts up because he strength trains a lot better than I do.
Yash, what can you bench press? You have to let us know.
He's probably going to outbench press me though. And the most
he
the
is.
most I ever pressed was 335. That's the most I ever pressed, and I'm sure he could probably get up more than that.
I'm sure.
Jose, what was the last
I was
time?
170 pounds when I did it though, Robin. You can ask Yash. It's pretty impressive.
What's the most you've ever benched, Jose?
Don't remember, and I don't lift heavy weights, yo.
How about 12-ounce curls? Have you done any of those since you've been down in Florida? Two-handed 12-ounce or 16-ounce
He's done
curls.
12-ounce bottles of Miller Lite. I know how much
Exactly.
you're
That's what I'm talking about.
What up, Miller Lights?
Exactly. All right, you be careful
I
down
said
there,
that
Jose.
yesterday.
So you went in Lenny's, and you got a good breakfast in there, and you saw Double Herrera, and then you went to Buffalo Wild Wings. How do you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and not the original Hooters?
See, that's
It's
just
like going to Rome and not going to St. Patrick's, the Cathedral of St. Peter and Paul.
Now as Italians, we would say to him, that's a Medigan. That's a
Medigan.
Medigan crap right there. What are you doing?
Okay, Yash replied.
Yeah, we have a break. We have breaking
We have
news.
a breakdown.
Let's get a Yash. How much can Yash
Yes.
Friedman put up on the? Is this the flat bench now or the?
No, he gave me both
actually-
stats.
He broke it down.
That's what we want.
Yeah. So on the incline, he can do 315.
He gets 315 for 6 on an incline.
Okay.
Go ahead, Luigi.
And then he gets on a flat bench. He's doing 365 for 5, 315 for 12.
But that's not the weight. You need to do 225.
No,
with
but
multiple
315.
reps.
Yeah, but if he's getting 315 for 12, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm thinking you're probably getting 2 1/4, 20, maybe 23 times, somewhere around there between 20 and 23. That's a high rep.
It is for that much weight.
315 for 12 is a lot of weight.
You know
but,
who laughs at
Yash doesn't go in at he's not like 230 pounds. He goes in about like 205, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Competition weight, like he's like 205 pounds. So that's good solid weight right there.
He's
like
not a
I couldn't
heavyweight.
do 315 on an incline. I couldn't do it. The most I probably could do is probably 275 on an incline.
I could do it with
it's a lot of weight.
You know what I like about Yash? He does the natural physique. So he's not so.
No, I need roids to do that.
Yeah, I'm juiced to frick out, bro.
No,
I
I don't like the roided look where
I don't like the roided look either. But if I have to have somebody come in here, if Jose Canseco has to come in here and stick a needle in my butt, I will gladly accept him and allow him in the house.
That's right.
No. I don't want you to not be able to put your arms down. I don't think that's a good look at all. I don't get it. I don't get why these guys get so big.
What do you mean?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I don't like that look at all. It's nasty.
All right, Jose. Will you be
Wayne
careful?
Wayne Atkinson over here says he loves the meathead talk that's going on
Dude,
right now.
Yash says that he can do 30 at 225.
We have
The meat. Yes,
30ish.
we do.
That's good. That's high rep, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Exactly.
He does twice as much.
Go ahead, Jose.
Before
Final
I-
thoughts.
Before I move on, I'd like to say what up, teen and daughter watching on the laptop tonight for the viewers at home.
What up, late shout out? What up, 35 seconds ago that happened?
I had to do it. I love kids. You know that.
Yeah,
Remember that
we all know
one
that. The
time
police know that.
Bruno's
Everybody
when this kid from Nebraska said "What up" to me from Nebraska.
Was that Eric Crouch?
No, Luigi's. It was that was the national show when it was in L.A.
Exactly. You
A
think
fan from
Jose just
Nebraska.
works local podcasts?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
No, I know that, Tony. This guy whores himself.
He's
out on
internationally
everybody.
known.
Jose is on everything, man.
Did you hear that, Jose? He says you're whoring yourself out.
No, I'm whoring myself out.
Well, you're trying.
Not me.
Nope. Jose is loyal.
Pimping ain't easy, man.
He might, he might pimp himself out occasionally.
He's no Stormy Daniels.
No.
I'll tell
But
you that right now.
he is loyal to the Tony Bruno show where he first got his one huge big break.
Exactly
But
right.
We made him. We made him.
He didn't even have to go through a ritual, any kind of hazing. He didn't have to go and become like a mob and go out and kill a couple people in a parked car.
Oh, you broke it, Jerry.
Exactly right.
No, I love him. I just think his loyalty's a little weak. That's all.
No.
What do you mean his loyalty's a little weak?
If his loyalty were weak, he would no longer want or care to come on the Tony Bruno show. The Tony Bruno show is always his number one love.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
So don't you be dissing our Jose.
No, I'm just saying the guy goes in out of retirement more than. I mean, come on, man.
Jose has never turned his back on the show.
Never.
I know he hasn't.
Sometimes he might, dabble.
No, he
here
was
and
stray
there.
a little here and there, right? Yeah, let the boy go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? I got
It's
you.
been at least 7 years. He's
Every
got
now,
the
he
itch.
got a little strange a little bit, right? Got to get him a little strange. I understand.
He gets a little bored.
Strange on the side.
Robinson are going, no, he never straight. Never does. Well, every once in a while, I got to let him stretch his legs a little bit, right?
I got to tell you what. It's been so long since I've had any on the side, I didn't even realize they had moved it. That's how long it's been.
Is it now?
Where's
Jose,
the rim shot there?
Jose,
I mean, if there was ever a bad joke, I got it.
Jose Nieva says, "Is there a Jose bobblehead?" Yes, it's actually Jose himself in live.
He'll come to your
live
house
form.
and he'll go. Other than the kid who did we had on the show in an exclusive interview.
Tim Cate's daughter.
Yes.
Tim Cate's daughter.
No, not Tim Cate's daughter. The Go Birds guy. Remember when we had the Go Birds guy? Go Birds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. The file's not playing. Damn it. But I have it though.
I hate it when that happens.
I know. It's the
Shooting
worst.
blanks.
By the way, a lot of people are texting that there's trees down in their neighborhoods. You know what that means? You'll get another day off from work tomorrow. Just be careful out there.
Stay home.
Stay home. Don't go to work. Be like the rest of America. Let's just say screw it and not pay attention to anything anymore. That's the American way.
I get behind that, Tony. I would love a day off. I love a snow day.
Oh, by the way, Bruno's, I got 3 fans from Twitter that friended me. Followed me now.
Well, that's because you're big, Jose. You know, you're a good follow.
Now, who requests you, Jose?
Yes. A girl named Lauren Hoff.
The great Hoff.
A lady. Yes. and Brenda. And,
Brenda Marie down in
Brenda
Florida?
Marie, yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's a nice lady.
And,
Yes, she is.
and Andrea.
And Andrea Nimchuk, another one.
Beautiful.
Now, are you going to the wedding?
We have been invited.
I'm going to the wedding.
You know, I don't normally do weddings. You know that.
I did one with Joe last year, and we crashed one by accident. The great Jersey AJ, who welcomed the beautiful sun to the world earlier this year.
The only weddings that Tony goes to are other people's.
That's right. I've decided if I ever do get married, Tony Bruno's going to marry me.
Damn right.
Doing master
If I go to if I go to Luigi's wedding, I'll be saying on the microphone, "What up, Luigi and bride? We have engaged wedding action, yo."
You know what? You know what though?
Jose, if you go to my wedding, you might be the only one there. All right, pal.
I'm throwing this out there because we now know how easy it is to get a license to be able to
What is it?
officiate.
The minister of the Universal Church
Whatever.
or something like that?
Yes.
So if
You know Billy Graham.
If anybody
he's
out
dead.
there is getting married and you want Tony Bruno to officiate, let me know. I can
No,
make
I don't
it
want to
happen.
marry anybody, including myself.
No,
or
we'll make it
anybody that I
happen.
know or don't even know.
Tony, shush. I'm going to make it happen. So if you want it, I'll make it happen. And you know Miss Robin, she can do anything.
I do not want to officiate over any weddings. All right, Jose, we'll talk. Be careful. Safe travels. But when you coming back?
That will be that Friday afternoon, 2:45 at the International Airport.
Beautiful, man. We may have to have like a...
We'll get John Clark there to greet him as Jose comes off the airplane.
We'll tell John there's a big, big celebrity coming back into town. And you know Johnny Airport's his name now.
You know what? Screw it. What day are you coming back, Jose?
Friday afternoon.
Which Friday?
This Friday.
I got to work at 7 a.m.
2:40.
What time's your
2:40
flight?
2:45 p.m. when I land.
I'll get a couple of limos.
To drive down.
Temperature set at 72 degrees.
It'll say Uber on the back.
Yep.
Be real easy to find.
And lift in the front.
Real easy to find, Jose. All right, Jose. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a roaring round of
No
applause.
problem, guys.
The great Jose in Clearwater, ladies and gentlemen. With that bum Dean.
I got to call Dean live. I want to call him live and wish him happy birthday and a few other
We
things.
will. Sheil Kapadia is going to join us in the next hour.
Yep, about 20 minutes from now.
Exactly right. Let's go back to the phones. Heavy phones tonight.
Yeah.
Heavy phones tonight.
We have to play a little heavy D, though.
I always got a little heavy D.
All right, let's go to a guy. Is that Jack in the back on the phone? Or
Yeah,
is he
Jack on the.
screening from
He's
there?
just screening, but we got. You want to go?
Pump in Jack for a second and say happy birthday to him. I don't want to feel like we're just utilizing him
or euthanizing him.
Well, using and abusing
No,
him.
euthanizing would cost a lot of money to get the lethal injection material that we would need.
I get it cheap.
I'll get him some couple cases of Natty Ice.
Yeah, he euthanizes himself every week for drinking that crap. You kidding me?
Hey, Jack, happy birthday, buddy.
I got him, Rob.
You punch him up?
I got him. I punched him up.
Jack, you there?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Now, what's the weather like in Jersey where you live tonight?
It's just heavy snow, man. Trees down everywhere. We've lost power for probably the last, 4 hours. Thank God we got a fireplace. And that's about it, man. We're just hunkered down in the basement downstairs with the dogs and the cats and candles and you name it.
And don't forget a little Calgon. Remember the Calgon? Joe Corrado had a good line. And Calgon, take me away.
Yeah.
Remember those, Rob?
Yeah.
Calgon, take me away.
So you have no power in the house?
Zip. We got zero power. We live right along a main road, and I think a tree took out quite a bit of power lines. And it's been, it was like blinking off and on for about maybe a couple of minutes, and next thing you know, we've been without power. So I'm sitting downstairs on the couch with the laptop on full charge, and I'm just sitting here talking to you guys.
Beautiful, man.
Man, happy birthday to you.
Yeah. No, a
Hey,
lot of people still
thank you
have
very much,
power
guys.
from the last storm. They're
Yeah.
still putting power on. We got to give a shout out to all those people who go out and work the polls. I don't mean the women at cheerleaders that Joe Corrado frequents.
I'm giving them a lot of shout outs.
I'm talking about the
That's
real
a hard
poll,
job,
though.
too,
Yeah, that's
but-
no.
Not the
Being
people
on
that
a
work
pole in a
the
snowstorm.
people that work the
is a
polls.
lot harder than working the
Yes.
pole.
I don't know. Have you seen some? They're like borderline acrobats, man.
No, I mean that's talent. Don't get me wrong.
No, but talk about
But they're not
miserable
putting
work.
their lives on the line when
Yes,
they're
they
on
are.
top of a pole.
Yes, they are.
No.
Pennies on the dollar.
We appreciate all the hardworking people that are out there.
Including
in
all the
And those
single
pole
moms.
girls.
All the single moms out there.
horrible weather, the storm, the snow, sleet,
So
rain,
many college
wind.
tuitions to pay for.
I will say this. This has got to be the heaviest snow that I've had to shovel in quite a while. It is really like soaking.
Yeah,
thick,
I'm not
wet
touching it. I'm
snow.
letting it melt on its own. I ain't getting out there and picking this stuff up. It's sloppy. It's heavy.
Sort of
it's
like
some women I
sort of
used
like
to
my
have.
ex-girlfriend.
Sloppy, heavy, and wet is no way to go through life, son. Unless you're desperate and it's a Saturday night.
and of all nights that I couldn't make it, I missed out on the Coq-au-Vin. I'd never had Coq-au-Vin before,
on the
so now I missed out on it.
And the thing is that I was actually making you a birthday dinner, and it was kind of a bummer.
And then Luigi ate it all.
Yeah.
No,
so we'll have to
It was good too, bro.
Good, Clark. That was good.
I would say let's do a rain
Well,
check.
just tell her, listen, for everybody out there listening, just don't shovel this snow. Let it melt. Just wait till Friday. Just let it do its
You know
thing
what
on
this
its own.
snow's perfect for? Because I went out. It's perfect snow cone snow. So go out there and get yourself a fresh handful. Not yellow, though.
Yeah,
Not
don't
get the flavor pre-flavored one.
No. Go get a nice, clean handful.
Pristine white show.
And then you just put it on top. Put it in a cup. And then pour any kind of sugary substance that you have.
Maple syrup.
And
That's
you
the
got
traditional.
a snow cone.
Why don't you pour a little Zin on there, man?
Put a little Zinfandel down. No, put a little bulk on there.
Yeah.
Can
Maybe
I
a
just
little
say,
limoncello.
Limoncello.
For those people who have...
It is really, really good type of snow cone snow. I gotta be honest with you.
Good snowball snow. You can throw it at somebody's head.
You can kill somebody with this shit. Are you kidding me?
Ow.
For anybody who has read the Little House on the Prairie series, that is how it started. It was people that would go out and get snow, and they would put fresh maple syrup on top.
Really?
That's how snow cones started.
That's not good.
No way.
That's how it started.
I'd much rather have the crappy,
Did someone tell you that?
artificially flavored sugar water.
Yeah, I
that
want
they pour.
Nino walking down the street with it, just dipping it and just pouring that blue red crap on there. That's what I want. But it's got that. You got to get the
It's
crunch.
not like water ice. Water ice is legit.
Yeah, water ice is real legit.
Snow cones is the biggest scam ever.
Hey, I told you a year from now, I made the announcement a little while ago, but I will be riding, probably coming from the West Coast to this direction here, solo on a bicycle for charity this time next year. So just something to remember.
You're going to be doing the coast-to-coast thing?
See, now I was going to make fun of him, then he said,
I am doing the coast-to-coast. Yeah.
No, he's
that's
going to
what
do
I'm
it
training
because there's
for.
a lot of money in riding a bicycle coast-to-coast.
No. Before he said something about charity, I was
no,
going to play a drop, but now.
It's for charity.
What kind of bike you ride? What kind of hog you on?
It's not a hog. It's
I'm not bicycle.
Wait a minute. Have you
It's
trained for this?
Pedal power,
have
man.
you trained for this?
He's training right now.
It's-
Where have you been?
I'm here.
It's been a dream of mine, and it's something I have to do.
That's all. I'll fly out there and meet you, bud.
I'll just fly out into different checkpoints.
Santa Monica Pier to Point
Ask
Pleasant,
Josh,
New
man.
Jersey.
No cardio. We
45
lift, bro.
days it's going to take.
I lift. I don't do cardio.
You're going to leave Santa Monica Pier as your first stop?
That's where I'm starting from, and it's a
Cheryl
continuous
Crow
trip
like
all the way West Coast to East Coast. I should be back down this way next year, somewhere around early May, starting this time in March.
We should have our friends Petros and Money do a remote from Santa Monica Pier.
Yes.
So
or
that
better yet, we should do a remote from Santa Monica
That would be even
Pier.
better, Tony.
You know how many times I've been on that pier?
I'll do it.
Looking at hot Latinas walking around on Sunday afternoons?
Every day.
Aye.
You got that, Tony?
No.
So, Jack, is there,
All right, I'll tell you what else.
Wait a minute. How many
I
stops?
got to get your buddy on here. You're going into the break. I'm going to actually use the men's room real quick, if you don't mind.
Early,
I'm
Jack.
gonna
Jack, we
get
got
your
time.
buddy
We
on
got
Sheil
Jack.
and-
We got time. I spet.
Oh, we got time. Okay.
I spet.
All right.
So my question is
I
how
don't
many,
wanna take up you guys'
how
time.
many days is it going to take for you to do this? Like how many stops do you make? I mean, obviously
It's
you're staying over.
45 days. There's 3 days on, 1 day off, and you do another 3, and you take 2 off. And depending on the route I take, I haven't decided on which one I'm going to do.
Avoid 95.
Because of weather. But you usually ride West Coast to East Coast, believe it or not, because the weather actually gets better, regardless of what kind of weather we're dealing with now. But it should take 45, and then you basically plan on giving yourself a 5-day, let's just say you hit some major weather. But as long as you stay in the main areas, there's like probably 10 different routes you can take, West Coast to East Coast, that I'm looking at right now. It generally is 45 days.
Just avoid the Oregon Trail, though, because bad shit happens there.
And then never forge the river. Never.
Don't.
Everybody always dies from diarrhea.
Tell me, we got Shane Gannon checking on Facebook. Sloppy, heavy, and wet. I've seen that at cheerleaders.
Oh!
And then Paul Moore goes, sloppy. Paul Moore says, sloppy, heavy, and wet, featured at Al's Diamond Cabaret this April.
That is great.
The second I said it, I'm like, I can't wait for them to jump all over this.
Oh, man.
Jack, happy birthday, pal.
Thank you so much, man.
I'll be shy.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Give Jack a roaring birthday round of applause.
Did you see Jack drop in that see you next Tuesday?
No, I didn't.
What
hear
does
that.
see you next Tuesday usually stand for?
Yeah, he's coming to Funkin' Fantasy.
Well, that's how I signed off. But he said, I'll see you next Tuesday. I think Jack was saying some nasty things right there, even on his birthday.
Okay, Poppy.
Exactly.
You don't have to pick it up, Robin. I can see
We can see it.
Just making sure.
Should we go to AS?
Yes, let's go to Andy Silfies. We haven't heard from him in a while. Friend of the show.
Friend of the program.
What's he doing? Let's find out.
I think he's in the toilet.
Are you in the toilet right now?
Yes, he is.
Well, you had me on hold for 30 minutes. I figured I'd go to the bathroom real quick.
That's okay. Well, at least we
everybody's
got in.
Everybody's allowed to go to the
Maroon.
bathroom in like 5 minutes. Not now. You went 5 minutes too early. Damn it.
Well, it takes me a little bit longer to do things. You know, you know that.
Oh, double
really,
flush.
Jose?
You got to double flush sometimes. You know it's bad.
Andy, we're so happy to hear from you.
He really
well,
is
you know,
in the
I
bathroom.
missed you guys, so I'm here with my buddy, and I, wanted to give a call and see how you guys are doing. Miss you guys.
Well, we miss you too. We're doing as normally as we usually do. We suck, and
then we blow.
And we blow.
What the hell is going on?
Have you ever played Suck and Blow? Luigi, you ever play that
Suck
game?
and blow.
Yes.
Not. I for money I have.
For money?
But
I spent a lot of time around Jungle Joe's. I mean, if that means it.
See, people don't
Well,
understand.
Luigi will tell you. I mean, it was.
Suck and Blow
he
is
was
one of the
there that
best
night,
party games
so.
ever.
Yes.
I was there that night. This is unbeknownst to me. I didn't partake in this.
You don't know what Suck and Blow is,
Well,
do you?
No.
Well,
What is that?
Luigi's
Is it
got me
$30?
into it, so.
No. Suck and Blow is a fantastic party game. It's a fantastic drinking party
It's a
game.
card game too.
No, it's a drinking.
But you
it's
use
a,
cards,
so
don't
you
you?
have a bunch of people, and you have a card, like playing cards.
That's what I just said.
Right.
It's a card game.
But it's only one card. It's not like you're playing with the cards.
You know, you get a card wet, you're not going to keep using it.
You line up in a circle, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, or girl, girl, or boy, boy, whatever you fancy, and then you have to pass. You have to pass the card from person to person. So one person puts the card over their mouth, and then they suck it. And then you have to pass it to the next person. So then you blow it to them, and then they have to suck it.
Oh, just like.
And if you drop it, then you both have to drink.
What a fun way to get herpes. That's awesome.
No, you're not actually. You're touching the wrong. You're not going lip to lip.
Well, you can.
You are.
You can.
Well,
If you
You never go
drop-
ass to mouth, though.
No,
you
you
never go ass to mouth.
With the sucking and blowing, like I mean, that's how me and Luigi met. So
There you go.
The last time Luigi tried to play it, we had the response from the woman who was his partner.
Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. You want to keep it real, you keep it real with me. Because I ain't for no games.
Damn right.
hold on. Hey, I gotta ask Luigi something real quick.
I don't know if I want to answer. Go ahead.
Who do you? No, listen. What are you bench pressing right now, dude?
Well, we were talking about 2 and a
Like,
quarter.
seriously?
No, I can hit 2 and a quarter for 16.
Dude, I'm not sure you can hit 200. No, I don't think you can do it.
You don't think I can put? You can
I
bench
think we should.
225,
I
16
think that,
times.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
On a flat or an
I
incline
think,
bench?
dude. I think, hey, Tony, I think we should do a bench press showdown.
Now let me
at
ask
Tony
you.
Luke's
Let me
one of
ask you
these
a
days.
question. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think I don't?
Because I just don't think you can do it.
Okay. If you've never seen me
dude,
lift anything before,
hey,
you've never seen me
I
work
love
out.
you. I love you to death, Luigi.
Because I would love to
you
take
to
every
death, but
dime
I
you
don't
have.
think you can do it.
I would love it.
Luigi and I carried a 200 and something pound hot water heater.
I folded a king size mattress in half with my bare hands.
But that's
bro.
retard strength. You know that.
And this retard can push 2 and a quarter 16 times.
We were going to have a South Philly combine, but the weather sucks, and We were going to do this outside, right on East Passyunk Avenue. Get a bunch of Goombas out there with their tank tops on and see who can jack up.
I don't really have
more.
to go prove the machismo to you, Andy. But if you need
If you're
to
gonna
see it
talk,
firsthand, you can come on down, and I will take you for. You and I can do this just by ourselves, so we don't have to embarrass anyone.
I think
okay?
you should both go to Planet Fitness.
They don't have enough.
Hey,
They don't
hey,
have
Lou.
it. They don't have it.
Hey,
there.
Lou.
Luigi drops the weight.
Us Irish people, we'll take you Italians on. It's okay.
All right.
In what?
Enough with
In
the
what?
testosterone back and
I don't know
forth.
what I do to provoke this shit. I didn't do anything.
Brag about stuff. And
I
then
didn't
people-
brag about anything. I just said I lived at 2 and a quarter 16 times. You asked me how many times I did it. That's what I said. I'm not bragging about anything. If I was bragging about something, I'd do it.
Barkley didn't do it 16
He did it 28 times.
Did he?
Yes.
I missed that.
By the
part.
way,
If I wanted to brag, I'd do to show up my shirt off.
if I may, just really quick interject here. Wayne Atkinson says, for those of you out there, do not Google suck and blow.
Exactly.
No, you do not want to do that.
Unless you know, looking for a good time.
If you are going to Google it, Google suck and blow game.
The game.
The game, not
It's like Spaceballs.
it's
The
not-
game.
What do we get for $10?
Nothing.
Don't
Different kind of a suck and blow game right there.
Don't just Google suck and blow
No.
because it might come up with something else.
Yeah, because I asked Robin to Google it the other night because I jokingly last week when we had the hurricane winds here, I said, this looks like a good weekend to just stay at home and play suck and blow. And a lot of people on Twitter responded because they got it. They knew the game.
Right.
And then a lot of other people with filthy minds didn't understand
Or
the
they
game.
Googled it and went, what the
Yeah.
heck?
Exactly. That's why Google should be shut down. And Twitter. As soon as humanly possible.
Well, they need to be regulated.
I need to be regulated too, Robin. That's why I do
I
Metamute.
know.
Andy, now that you and Luigi are now warring again, and I call it.
No. Hey, Luigi, I love you, dude. I'm just giving you some shit.
It's all love, Andy.
Hey, love you, buddy. Hey, Tone.
Yes.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you, man. You had to
Have a
think
good
that
night.
one over, like you had to. You had to wonder whether you love me as much as you love Luigi.
No, I think he was deciding whether he was going to say something or not.
I had to debate within myself, and you won. So don't question it.
I'm not, man.
Not saying a word, bro.
I love you, man. Is that still cool to say? Remember, I love you.
Now,
man.
Andy, when are you going to be able to get out, man, and come down to the basement over here? Come out to one of the remotes.
Hey, I'm ready, dude. Like you just text me and we'll figure something out.
All right, cool, man. Awesome.
Beautiful, man.
All right, buddy.
Good to talk to you, Andy. See you, pal.
There he is, Andy Selfies.
All right, later, Tone.
It's like a reunion.
What's that, say?
It's like a reunion.
All right.
I think we're back up.
Yeah, but why don't we go to break for 3 minutes because Sheil Kapadia is going to join us in the second half hour. It's already 8:00 now. So why don't we do a 3-minute intermission? Hit the Pishadu, come back, and we'll go back to Sheil.
I like that idea.
Someone's calling someone.
Who's calling?
That would be probably. Let's just go to break. Just go to break.
Well, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Don't go out and shovel the snow. Just relax. Pour another glass of wine and enjoy tonight's Snowmageddon Theater, already in progress.
Till showtime. Why not add to your enjoyment with a delicious confection and drink at our attractive refreshment stand?
How's everyone doing? Let's make some noise. Come on.
This is the end. What do you need?
2 minutes till showtime. Tempt your taste with the wide variety of mouth-watering snacks available at popular prices at our refreshment stand.
Stop the hammering.
You following me, camera guy?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And you blew it. You blew it.
Till showtime. Satisfy yourself with thirst quenching drink. Your favorite beverage awaits you at our
Hey, shut the fuck up or go outside, all right?
Okay, Poppy.
Okay, don't worry about it. Enjoy the win, man.
This is how we do it. We go through a break and then we just play a sort of drop-ins. A man who can appreciate.
That was so much fun, brother.
It was. It's like being a couple kids with a toy.
That's what we do, bro.
That's what we do. And now everybody does it. Everybody's doing it now. I saw Deadspin put up a soundboard today of, you know who?
Who?
Tony Bruno?
No. There are soundboards out there somewhere.
Wasn't
Tons
it
of them out there.
No, one of the coaches? Wasn't it a coach? or
No,
something?
it's
the
it's
hockey guy or whatever it was?
greatest hockey voice in America today.
Barry Melrose?
No.
No, I don't know. I don't know who the hell it is, Tony.
You don't know who the best hockey
No, I don't.
play-by-play guy is?
Do you know who the best
Mike
hockey?
Emmerich. Hello?
I don't know whom.
What's the matter with you?
I don't watch hockey.
You're a disgrace.
I am.
Like, that's why we bring in real people who aren't disgraces. People who have paid their dues. People who have moved their way up in the rotation. Well, Luigi's still paying his dues.
I haven't moved up anywhere, though.
But this man's moved on up. From back in the day when we were just working together and I was just a schlep and he was on the upward trend and I was trending downward. Before trending was even cool. Before Twitter even existed to have trending. Now, of course, he works for The Athletic. He's worked at ESPN covering the Seahawks in Seattle. He covers the Eagles and the local teams back in Philadelphia now. My old buddy Sheil Kapadia joins us. How are you, man?
Good, Tony. How you doing?
Beautiful, man. We're still playing drops, though, because that's what people want, I've noticed. Do you do drops now when you do your any of your stuff on The Athletic or other appearances?
Yeah, we do a podcast. We do some drops. You got to give the people what they want, right?
Exactly right. So you're back in Philly now. So I remember we were working together in 97.5. Then you obviously were doing a lot of local stuff. And then ESPN comes calling and you go to Seattle. So how long, for people that don't know, how long were you up there in Seattle covering the Seahawks?
I was there for 2 years. I was in Seattle for 2 years with ESPN.
So was this after the Super Bowl in 2014 or the Super Bowl that they gave away a couple of years later?
It was it was the Patriots one. They had lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots, and then I started there in August that off season as they were trying to get back, and they didn't get back. Then I come back to Philadelphia for a year, and they win the Super Bowl. So you never know.
So we can put it all on you now because people are looking for how did this happen, and now it's pretty much you've just proven your return to Philadelphia is one of the main reasons why the Eagles, you go from a team that went to the Super Bowl and should have won a second one and come here to a team that no one thought would win a Super Bowl and won their first one. So I'm going to give you all the credit. I believe when they don't inscribe the cup like they do. The Eagles unsheathed their trophy, their Lombardi trophy today in their trophy case down at the stadium. Did you see that? Now, were you down there for that, Sheil, when they unsheathed the Lombardi for the first time in the case?
I did not. I did not see it live, no.
They should have your name inscribed in there somewhere, but they don't do that in the NFL. Do they take it to strip clubs like hockey players play in the Stanley Cup when everybody gets the cup for a day? I know players have had it, but I don't think they do the same tradition where everybody gets to take the Lombardi trophy home for a day. I don't think they do that. They should, though. Sheil Kapadia.
No, yeah, no. I think it stays in the case. I think you got to go there if you want to get the photo.
Exactly right. It's the way it should be. All right, Sheil. Now, Michael Bennett, the news breaks today, and I tweeted you earlier, and I said, you were the first guy I thought of because you been in Seattle the last couple of years. You were around Michael Bennett and all these great players up there. Were you surprised when you saw Michael Bennett? Because we've heard about a bunch of players who may or may not be back. Richard Sherman with the injury. You look up and down the list of guys who are still there. And were you surprised Bennett was one of the first guys to go?
I thought he was a name in that mix. They're just looking at so much changeover this offseason. They changed almost their entire coaching staff other than Pete Carroll. Richard Sherman, I think, is likely going to get released, it looks like here. Earl Thomas has been involved in trade rumors. Cliff Averill, Cam Chancellor, we don't know if they're going to continue their careers. And, yeah, Michael Bennett, just given his age, given what he was making, I wondered if he was going to be back with that team. But having said that, I did not think his new home would be with the Eagles. I thought they would have a little bit of a more quieter off season, maybe a trade or two here and there, a free agent signing here and there. But I thought the core of the football team they would mostly bring back. But, man, now you bring in a huge personality, a guy who I think is still a very productive player, and it's sort of like the rich get richer along the defensive line for the Eagles.
Yeah, and obviously Bennett, 8.5 sacks, 8.5 sacks to go along with Brandon Graham, who had the 9.5 sacks. And people are saying, well, he's on the downside. And a lot of detractors out there saying, other than the stuff that people don't like about Bennett with his involvement in the Vegas situation and that kind of stuff, when you're a football fan, he didn't do anything criminal. He didn't get arrested. And remember, Jeffrey Lurie's the guy who took the chance on Michael Vick. So I don't believe that the Michael Bennett detractors are suggesting that, that the Eagles are a place to go when you have a guy who's got issues to come here, because that's not what the Eagles do. They obviously are a destination, and a lot of players want to play here now. It's what the 76ers are trying to do by building a nucleus, proving that you're a destination, and now you're going to have teams or players who are out there who say, hey, you know what, if I'm going to go somewhere, I want to go and play with the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you believe that mentality is existing now? Not that Michael Bennett was a free agent and had a choice, but certainly he had to be really happy that this was the landing spot.
Yeah, I think overall, winning is the key thing. I do think most of these players, that's near the top of their list for them. And I know certainly for him, having covered him, how competitive he was, how much winning was important to him out there in Seattle. And then I'm reminded of what Malcolm Jenkins said near the end of the season. I can't remember if it was in a speech to the team or if it was to the media, but he basically said no team in the NFL is going to have more fun than us. And you see that with the dancing and the celebration and the way they got along last year. I think a lot of that was legit, and I think that's something the Seahawks had when they were on the upward trajectory and when they were going to the Super Bowl and making deep playoff runs. They had sort of a similar culture and a similar feeling around that team. So I think he'll fit in well from that respect.
Now, you mentioned the situation in Seattle where they're obviously going through changes, but they still have Marcus Smith, though. So apparently he's going to be the foundation and the building block for the defensive line up there. I'm sorry, I had to throw a Marcus Smith shot in there. But they're going to keep him, though, right?
He's still out there. I guess this means more playing time for him. I
Exactly.
guess this means more playing time for Marcus Smith.
I know. Anyway, now, Sheil, when you look at the Eagles situation, because now obviously everybody's saying Vinny Curry appears to be the odd man out here, and his salary cap hit is $11 million. We know that Michael Bennett's making $8.5 million, but the Eagles still have cap issues here. From what I'm reading, there's a great site called overthecap.com where you can go and look at all this stuff if you're really into that kind of number crunching stuff, that the Eagles will be restructuring guys. But Brandon Graham says he wants a new deal. They don't have to deal with Wentz right away yet, and they got the Nick Foles situation hanging over their heads. Do you think they're going to restructure Vinny Curry, or do you think he's definitely on his way out?
I think this signals he's on his way out, and I felt that way even before they made the Michael Bennett trade. But if you look at the numbers, and you're right, that is a great site. If you look at the Michael Bennett numbers, he's only making about $1.65 million base salary this year, and then he's got some other bonuses and stuff. But the overall point is he is actually a significantly cheaper option than Vinny Curry for 2018 on his current contract. So, if I'm Vinny Curry, I probably wouldn't agree to a pay cut right now. I would probably say, you don't want to pay me what I'm worth. Let me go out there and test the market. So I think they're going to try to trade him. I don't know that they'll get anything significant. Maybe you get a late round pick. I think that's what they're trying to get right now. If that doesn't happen, I think that, yes, they will release Vinny Curry because that's one place to get some salary cap room. They're about $10 million over the cap. They've got different options. They can restructure some guys on the roster, but I think they will release some guys as well. Curry could be one of those guys. I think Torrey Smith is going to be one of those guys. And if you trade Nick Foles, you get some cap room that way in addition to whatever compensation you receive for him. So they have some different options. It's a matter of seeing which domino is going to fall first, but I think it's going to end up being a pretty active week or two here for the Eagles and Howie Roseman.
Yeah, and it's really surprising to a lot of people because, the euphoria of the Super Bowl is still going on in this town. And so people don't want to see any of these guys go, because they'll be forever etched in the minds of the Super Bowl win. All these players. Chris Maragos, and I saw a lot of the Eagle players on Twitter today giving love to Michael Bennett. And obviously Chris Maragos played in Seattle with Michael Bennett, so he knows what he brings to the table. But you look around and what's going on now with all this free agency. The Eagles, meanwhile, the daily Nick Foles trade rumors, there should be a Nick Foles trade machine site. You know how ESPN had the trade machine, the NBA trade machine, and the NFL trade machine? Nick Foles, no matter who you listen to, or who you follow on Twitter, every team in the NFL now is in the Nick Foles sweepstakes. How much of it you think is legit, and how much of it you think is just BS because teams like to throw this stuff out? I don't think Nick Foles' agent is out there putting this stuff out there because there certainly are, what it appears, that there are a lot of suitors. But the question is, what would they give up? And would the Eagles move Nick Foles for a second-round pick, say?
Yeah, you're so right about the fans, and it is tough, I think, for people to let go of that Super Bowl euphoria and realize that some of these players are going to be gone. My mechanic just yesterday was saying, what's up with these Nick Foles trade rumors? He could have said, this guy just won us a Super Bowl. What are we doing? This is too risky. So I think that feeling is certainly out there, but I think there is truth to it. I think the Eagles are absolutely fielding offers for Nick Foles. Does it mean they're going to 100% trade him? No, not at all. I think they're trying to set the price pretty high right now. The numbers of a first and a fourth, that would be shocking to me. I think the Philadelphia would throw a parade or should throw a parade for Howie Roseman if he's able to get that from another team. I think more likely you're looking at a second-round pick and then something else. That something else could be a player. It could be maybe a mid-round pick. It could be a higher pick in 2019. I think a second-round pick and something else is probably the best offer they're going to get. And at that point, they have to decide, is it worth it? Do we want to take that offer, or do we want to just have Nick Foles for another year of insurance? I mean, what they have to be weighing is that Foles is only signed for one more year. So it's not like he's going to be Carson Wentz's long-term backup. And so that leads me to believe that they are going to end up taking an offer. If I'm guessing right now, if I'm making a prediction, I think Foles is going to end up being traded.
The great Sheil Kapadia. Now, how do people follow you at The Athletic, where you're working now, which is a great site? I mean, they got all the best writers. Jason Stark just went over there recently. So The Athletic blowing up, and it's a great site, and you great stuff on there. But you do a podcast, too. How do people find your podcast, Sheil?
Yeah, it's just called Birds with Friends. Me and Bo Wolf, we do that weekly one in the off season. We'll do emergency podcasts when there's breaking news. We posted one today about the Michael Bennett trade. So you can subscribe to that or get to that on whatever podcast server you use.
And it's called
Birds with Friends.
Birds with Friends.
Birds with Friends. Yep.
Birds with Friends. I like that. It's got a good beat. You can dance to it. Yeah. I'll give it a 75. So I like emergency podcasts too, though. The only emergency podcast I do is like, that's not a big enough story. I'm not firing up the podcast machine tonight.
We usually have emergencies during the podcast.
Yeah, the emergencies happen when we do the show every Wednesday night from 7 to 9. And Richard, last thing, Richard Sherman. Now he's rumored to be going everywhere. The Giants. Does somebody take a flyer on him right now? because of his medical situation, or do you think that's a big red flag? Because normally there would be a lot of interest in Richard Sherman. Do you think that his situation with going through the surgery is going to put a damper on any of the people going crazy that they can get Richard Sherman on their team?
I do, in terms of a trade. I mean, coming off the Achilles injury, he's 30 or older right now, and he's got a big salary, a big cap number. So I think they're probably going to have a tough time trading him. It only takes one, so you never know. Maybe they do find a suitor, but I think they're probably going to have a tough time trading him, and then they're going to have to release him, and then he'll be able to kind of test the open market like the rest of the free agents, and teams will have to decide how healthy he is right now.
And, of course, the ultimate indignity would be that he went and signed with the New England Patriots. That would be the ultimate. Are you kidding me scenario, right? How many people would say, are you kidding me? Richard Sherman's going to the Patriots? Anyway, Sheil, always good to talk to you, man. Thanks so much. Continued success. Happy to see you. You're doing great stuff, man.
All right, you too. Thanks, Tony. Take care.
There he is, Sheil Kapadia. Let's give him a roaring round of applause.
Got to get that ready there, Tony.
I have it here. I have it. I'm going to get back into the flow of hitting my own ball. You know, it's like riding a bicycle, but if you get off the bike, you know.
Sometimes it's just got to shift to the page. I got so many drops here. If I'm on the wrong page, it messes everything up.
I'm always on the wrong page. Just ask Robin.
Yeah. Speaking of pages, let's go to the next page. We have Phil from Kentucky.
Phil from Kentucky.
I wonder if he's from Murray, Kentucky, from the Murray State Racers, who were the first team to punch the ticket to the dance, Tony, to March Madness. I'm a huge Murray State Racer guy.
I like their steaks, too. I used to always order them. Remember Murray steaks?
Yeah, of course, Tony.
You remember Murray?
I want to go to, like, the green grass of
Murray, Kentucky, baby. Where about in Kentucky is Phil calling from?
I don't know. Phil, where you calling from? Are you in Louisville?
I'm in Lexington.
Lexington.
Oh, where the horses run, brother.
The horses are everywhere in Kentucky,
Yeah,
man.
in Lexington, Kentucky. I want to talk some. I want to talk a little bit of. I got a chance to hear Mike Pence talk today about the tax cuts, but I also want to throw in some sports in it.
We're not talking tax cuts on this show. You wanted to talk about sports and Mike Pence? Talk about
two opposites.
Well, all of the above.
All right, let's talk about sports because I don't really care. I don't even know what I haven't done my taxes yet or even put my paperwork together. So until I do my taxes, I will refrain from either praising or assassinating the tax cut deal that just got passed a couple of months ago in Washington.
It didn't help me.
It didn't help. Did you get your taxes done?
Yeah, I got them done already. I did it myself.
You did them yourself?
Yeah, it's not that hard. I don't really have much to claim or itemize or anything like that. It's pretty easy.
You claim your car?
No.
You should have. I mean, it cost you like $100,000
so
to keep it running.
I hate that piece of shit.
This new baseball player that's playing for the Angels, a new pitcher. I want to bring that up first.
I don't know anything about
What
him.
do you think about him, Tony?
I don't know anything about him. In fact, I was going back and forth with Mark Gubiza, the great Gooby, who does the Angels broadcast out there in Anaheim. He lost his mom, and he was talking about his mom the other day, and I gave him a little love on Twitter. And obviously, Mark's another guy who grew up in the Philadelphia area. You know, was a great pitcher in the big leagues with the Royals, and out in Anaheim now for a long time doing stuff. Is this the Asian picture?
You talking about Shohei Honati or Hontani?
Yeah, the guy struck out 9 out the other day in the spring training.
This guy can hit too. Like he can rake. The guy can rake too.
But he's not a pitcher. He's
yeah.
Now, what's his name?
No, his name is
he's
Shohei.
all in one, I think.
Yeah, his name's Shohei Honati. He's a pitcher, but the guy can hit. He's like a legitimate hitter as well.
Yeah, because I saw Ichiro, who re-signed with Seattle, where he'll obviously end his career, where he was an all-time great, saying that he'd love to hit against that guy because he saw him obviously in the spring training games.
Yeah, he had like some ligament damage in his pitching elbow, but it's not gonna like affect him going through the rest of the season. Though.
All right.
No,
yeah, I haven't seen him pitch, but I'm hearing great things about him.
No, apparently he can hit, and like I said, he can hit like a legitimate hitter.
I'm hearing he's one of the best that they have so far.
What's he doing in the American League then if he can hit?
Exactly. What a waste.
I'm reading right here that even his teammates are like in awe of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm reading Ichiro and a lot of players who have faced this guy.
He's also a legit outfielder as well.
Yeah. So he's a 5-tool player right now, probably, right? Sort of like Dominic Brown was when he came up.
Shohei
Ohtani. Hey, moshi moshi. So obviously, you know, the Angels always get great players. They got Mike Trout out there, you know, and they always have good players that come up, and hopefully this guy succeeds. I don't root against any player. I love to see players who are incredibly versatile.
No, I hope he succeeds too.
Are you an
I think
Angel
he's a
fan?
pretty amazing player. I haven't seen him play yet.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I definitely want to see him. What's going on
Yeah,
down there in
so-
Lexington now? What's the big what are you a big? You got to be a college football fan if you're in Kentucky. I mean, a college basketball fan, not
Actually,
football.
I'm not really a college football guy wherever I am.
But obviously,
I-
Lexington
I
is
never
college
re-
basketball
I never
country.
really followed college in San Diego. I never really followed college anywhere.
Yeah, I don't follow college either, except
I'm more of a-
except some of the co-eds who are at least 20 years of age or older.
And Joe Quillen on Facebook checks
Yeah.
in, Tony, and he says Otani is actually going to DH from what he hears.
In Japan?
He's going to DH when he doesn't pitch.
Oh, okay.
He's actually going to be the team's designated hitter for Anaheim.
Well, that makes sense. You can't waste a bat. The
So
guy's a
he's
good
a DH.
hitter.
Yeah. So he'll DH on the nights that he's not pitching. So he's
Yeah.
he's going to be like almost an everyday player.
It's good. That's good. Now more reasons to go out to the
So they're
to
not
follow
gonna,
the
they're
Los
not going to give
Angeles,
him any
Anaheim,
rest except for pitching on the days
Disneyland
that he's
adjacent
not pitching.
Angels.
He's going to DH.
He's going to DH. Beautiful. Now, what about the tax cut now? No, I don't want to talk about
No,
the
it
tax
goes.
cut.
Actually, Bob Cole checks in and says the tax cut doesn't apply. Well, the tax cut applies for the 2018 taxes filed next year. So that's when we'll be seeing the tax cuts next year, not
Are
this
you sure
year.
it's not?
Yeah, that's
I
what
thought
Bob
they
Cole
changed
just said.
the code at the beginning of the year.
Nah, brother.
That's why I don't know, because I haven't had my taxes. I can't do my own taxes.
So, in other words, the reason why you had crappy taxes was because they're still last year's.
No, it's because I don't have any kids, don't own a home, I'm white, those kind of things. They all.
Wait, race has
factor.
something to do with tax cuts?
Oh yeah.
I don't think race has anything to do with taxes.
No, it doesn't. What kind of comment is that?
I don't know. Oh, I'm actually piggybacking off the caller I had from California last week. That's what it
You
was.
don't even have to mention your race or your gender anymore. On these. Before you know it, we're not going to have to put down what race we are and what gender we are on any form, because it doesn't matter. You determine that. Have you not heard that? You determine now your own gender and you determine your own race.
Well, my account is Clayton Bigsby. That's why. That's why.
Well, in that case, I'm going to be a Native American woman.
Oh, are you going to be Elizabeth?
Yes.
Elizabeth Warren's sister?
I'm going to be a blank person of gender or origin.
I'm going to be a hermaphrodite. How's that?
Oh, then you cover all the bases.
Then I'll cover all the bases.
Everything.
Depending on what mood I'm in.
You can literally screw yourself. How about that? You don't need the accountant to pull that one off
I'm
for you.
identifying as a hermaphrodite
That's
this
right.
weekend. This way, there's no way I don't get any action. This way, if I strike out with a woman, I can always take care of business with somebody else.
I like this. Max Power says, my balls determine my gender.
Phil, thanks for checking in tonight, man. I appreciate the call. Little Angel baseball talk.
All right, no problem, Tony. Take
Thank
care.
you. There is Phil in Lexington, Kentucky. Hello.
Awesome.
This show's internationally known.
It is.
And
we
national.
haven't. Speaking of
'Cause
international,
Kentucky's in the United States of
we
America.
have not heard from our Aussies. We haven't heard from Down Under for a
No,
while.
I heard Justin tweeted me the other day.
I've been
Justin
silent,
down there
man.
in Melbourne.
Actually, you and I took a little break, man. I went on a 5-day siesta from social media.
You did?
It was beautiful, dude.
I did it for
I
about
don't believe it.
I did. I was not on social media for 5 days.
I
didn't
still-
tweet a
don't-
thing. I didn't
don't
post a
believe it.
thing.
Wow.
I didn't do
I
anything.
don't believe it.
I didn't do
That's
nothing.
almost impossible.
No, I didn't do nothing, homeboy.
I mean,
That's
Tony
harder
and I
than
could
quitting
do it.
smoking. for
Which
some
I
people.
did.
I know.
Believe it or
Luigi
not.
quit smoking.
That was 2 years ago. Well, over 2 years ago now.
It's a good job.
I'm telling you, man. I quit.
I'm going to quit Twitter soon.
You know,
You might not have a choice.
You know what I find
Will it
interesting?
quit me?
It might just throw you off.
I picked.
You might just say, get the
I
hell
just
out.
don't know how to quit you, Twitter.
Exactly. I just don't know how to quit you.
I know how to quit Facebook.
That's the
though.
real angry bird. Is Twitter. That's the real
Wow.
angry bird.
By the way, speaking of Twitter and Facebook,
What do you got?
And all the other great sites out there, and some not so great sites.
There is a new site out there, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't even know what it is. I'm talking about Switchboard Live. That's the great
Oh,
site.
that's the one that matters.
That's the one that
Switchboard
matters
Live
for us.
is all that matters for this show, because we just send them the video stream of our must-watch radio program, and then they take it, and then BAM! Jesus Christ. They slap
And
it
Emerald
up,
shows up.
they flip it, they rub it down, and all of a sudden, the one stream that you are seeing from the Wine Cellar in South Philadelphia, that's directed and funneled to every online streaming video service. Facebook Live, right? Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, RedTube,
XTube,
HamsterTube,
RedTube,
Pornhub, all the sites that you
Brazzers.
free. No, it doesn't go to Brazzers.
okay.
That's actually, you have to pay for that.
Really?
Triple
But,
X something.
but the one thing that you do when you have Switchboard Live, and you can get it too, just like we do, switchboard.live. They take care of the business, yo. You send out one stream. You don't have to go out and get a trillion Megatron bomb website dealio.
Yeah, with all different links, you got to post it here, post it there.
Yeah,
Just
you don't
one shot,
need-
done.
You don't need like 100 billion megs of data. Can you get 100 million megs of upload speed now, Robin?
I don't think so.
I don't know any of that speed
I don't
stuff.
know.
All I know is speed kills, except on the internet. Go to switchboard.live, and you too. It's the one source that you need. No matter what you're doing, you don't have to be doing a radio podcast. Anything you're doing, teleconferencing, you want to get your video out to multiple places, you just send one. You only need one. You only need one. Switchboard.live. Check it out, yo. How about that?
We'll do it live.
How about that? Let's go back to the phones, Robin.
Yeah, we can clear up the phones right now. We got one more caller hanging on. We got Larry from Port Richmond. Who's got a Coco comment.
Oh, let's go to Larry. Not Coco Beware, which I believe was the best
That
pull
was
of
the
the
best
night
one.
by
Thank you,
Luigi.
Tony. Appreciate that.
Because your dad, he said your dad was
My dad, it is my dad's favorite wrestler.
And why?
Because of the parrot. My dad loves
So is he a
parrots.
Jimmy Buffett guy then too?
No, actually, he has no idea who Jimmy Buffett is.
Buffett's the original parrot head.
Yeah, my dad's not into that.
How can your dad not be?
My
into
dad's more of a
parrot?
Marco Mancini kind of guy,
Well,
Tony.
who
Come
is
on,
it?
man.
Let's go to our buddy out there,
Larry.
Fort Richmond, Larry. Larry, how are you, pal?
Hello. Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. Everything's fine. I couldn't be a happier person.
Beautiful,
Everything
man.
going on with you know my situation.
Even with this.
But my Coco comment is
Yes.
What's that?
No, I said go ahead. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I was glad. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. How about Coco LeBoy? Used to play for the Montreal Expos.
Coco LeBoy.
Remember him?
Wasn't he? Didn't he used to appear at the Trocadero back in the day?
That
when
was
it
like
a,
what-
I think he opened for Moore's Day twice. Coco LeBoy.
Coco LeBoy.
Yeah.
And I'm a hockey guy, and I don't know that.
Yeah. No, he's not a hockey guy. He's a baseball player.
Oh, I thought you said the Montreal Canadian,
He
Montreal
was one of the
Expos.
original Expos.
Wow.
Oh, how about Coco LaBouche from
LaBouche.
Rugrats? From Rugrats, the cartoon. Coco LaBouche.
Who gave you that one?
Twitter.
On Twitter?
No. Google.
I was not a big Rugrats guy. That's
Yeah,
my
man.
kids were grown by Rugrats. Robin, did you know Coco LaBouche from Rugrats?
I have no idea.
Coco LaBouche. He was a villain in Rugrats.
Not
Or she was a villain. It was a she.
I'm better in bed bugs.
Well,
and you're right about ELO. They should be at the main. I saw the Moody's there with the
with an orchestra,
and all, and I still got one of the original albums with had the little cutouts. You could set them up and all. I still got them.
Oh, they were so good,
I
man.
got a lot of old albums.
I'll tell you what, ELO is one of the
Yeah.
all-time great bands, and Jeff Lynne is one of the all-time great, not just performers, but all the songs he wrote. It's just, and to sit back, it makes you happy. See, when I'm watching that ELO concert on MTV, I was happy. You cannot watch that and not be happy. Even Luigi, who's a not-happy guy.
Well, it was awesome. Just the
It
energy in the
was.
room was awesome.
I watched it 3 times now. I can put that on nonstop loop and never get tired of it, man. That's how good. That's good music, man. Those old dudes can still rock and roll. All these people who rip the older generation, that's where all this crap came from, man. If it wasn't for those guys in the 50s and 60s, we wouldn't have today's music scene. Those generations, the 50s and 60s, influenced everything that's happening today. You realize that? Do you realize that, Robin?
I did not realize
The 50s
Absolutely.
and 60s influenced modern-day music or any music more than any other generation.
So I got some Coco updates here.
Now, let's get to the Coco updates now.
So we got. I'm just gonna give you a few. They got James Coco in a Man of La Mancha.
Man of La Mancha.
Okay. We got Coco Martin. These are actors. You got Leah Coco.
Lee Iacocca, though. That's not Leah Coco.
No, it's Leah Coco.
Oh, not Lee Iacocca.
No, not Lee Iacocca.
Okay.
We got Coco.
But it should be Lee
Coco
Iacocca.
Austin, who's Ice-T's wife.
Oh, that's right.
Ice-T and Coco.
Ice-T used to love
Two-
Coco.
two
I think.
wonder-
There wasn't that a show?
Yeah.
Ice-T used to love Coco.
2 wonderful beverages. You got Coco Summer.
Coco
She's
Summer.
a Stardust actress. You got Coco Velvet in Grease XXX.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Is that the
Um,
AVNs? Is
missed
that
that
old
one.
school?
Yeah. You got
Summer lovin'.
you got Coco Charnel in Orgy. the Triple X Championship of Actress.
I see a common denominator here.
Yes.
There's a lot of Triple X type shows that are
But
associated
those are
with the
probably
name
fake.
Coco.
Like Coco Beware. That's his real name.
Well,
you
then
know
there's
that.
Coco Pink in Black Girl Glory Holes 3.
Oh, I think I saw that the other night. I was actually scrolling through it the other night in my on-demand channels.
Well, I mean, I
Have you
saw
seen the
1 and
names?
2. You got to see the third one, right?
Have
I mean,
you seen all the names of these movies now on all the X-rated
Yeah, they're great.
pay-per-views? It's like
They
I
are.
don't-
They're masterpieces.
They are. I don't know who comes up with this stuff. It's better than
Or
onion,
masturbators.
better than onion headlines.
Well, Larry, we miss you. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Well, I've been listening on Facebook, and really, I like to call, but when you have nothing to bring, you don't call.
Well, we have nothing to
You're like,
bring, and
well,
we
I got
do
nothing
this
to
almost
say.
every week.
I actually have some of those spin-off names for you right
Yeah.
here, Tony.
Okay,
Let me
that's-
give you the top couple here. You got RoboCock.
Bro, no, I don't want that stuff. Get out of here.
Hold on. You got Blown in 60 Seconds. Lawrence of My Labia.
What? Lawrence of what? My lady?
Oh, that one's bad.
Rimming in the Rain.
Oh, I love that one. Gene Kelly was in
Dude,
it. I
Where's
think
My Dildo?
Wait a minute. Gene Kelly's great-great-granddaughter, I believe, was in that one.
White Men Can't Hump.
Wow, I mean, who didn't know that?
Edward Penis Hands.
Wait a minute, what was that called?
Saturday Night Beaver.
Wow.
That's fantastic. The Porn Identity. Not the Born Identity.
The Porn
The
Identity.
Da Vinci Load.
Oh.
Batman in Robin. Grinding Nemo.
Wow.
And Le Gisberel.
It's what?
Try that again.
Gisberel. Not like Miserable.
Nah,
Le
that's weak. Every night when I turn on Cinemax, it's still always the same bad movies.
Batman in Robin.
God, that one's bad.
I'm telling you, Cinemax. I don't watch these movies are so horribly bad. I can't even watch 5 seconds of them. But they show the same ones all the time. The Hills Have Thighs too.
The Hills Have Thighs.
The Hills Have Thighs, and it's just the same tired stuff. People want fresh faces and fresh body parts. All right. Because let's be honest, if Hollywood can just keep redoing old movies,
There's actually more. It says,
wait a minute, wait, there's more.
You've Got Mail as an MALE.
Okay.
Everyone I Did Last Summer. Ocean's 11 Inches. E.T. the Extra Testicle. Night of the Giving Head. The Sperminator. The Bone Ranger.
Oh, no. We lost
Good
it.
Will Humping. A Few Hard Men. Village of the Rammed. Cliffbanger.
Cliffbanger.
Breast Side Story. Late in Manhattan. The Clockwork Orgy. An officer and
Okay, you're killing
and a
Tony.
gentle
Get
layman.
it out.
Hold on.
now.
An officer and a gentle layman. Oklahoma.
Come on, that's
Yeah.
that is horrible.
Beverly Hills 90210. Ho. The Bear Bitch Project.
I hear you.
Buffy the Vampire Lair.
Wow.
Pulp Friction. A Beautiful Behind. Not The Beautiful Mind. Hold on. There's
You
only,
don't-
there's
you
only a
don't-
few more. There's
oh,
only a few
for
more.
God's sakes.
I skipped a couple. Gangbangs of New York.
Is DiCaprio in that one too?
Womb Raider. School of Cock. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Gays.
It's an outrage.
Throbbing Hood. On Golden Blonde.
Oh, I've watched that one.
Sisterhood of the
hasn't?
Traveling Sluts.
Uh-huh.
Romancing the Bone.
Oh yeah. that's an
King
old one.
Dong. Phil Bill. Sourced Rump. Yank My Doodle, It's a Dandy.
Well, come on, who hasn't seen that? It's a big fourth. I think Tom Cruise was in that, wasn't it?
How great was that?
Wow, that's a good list right there.
That's a fantastic.
That's a list everyone can laugh at and agree with. Let's give Luigi a round of applause for doing all going the extra mile to bring you the finest in cinema. Better than any Oscar movie.
Night of the Giving Head. So bad.
It is so bad.
Everyone I Did Last Summer. It's freaking hilarious, man. Oh man.
All right, now I'm hurt. Now it hurts.
Since we're doing lists, can I give you a list of
The top 5. You know, it's National Cereal Day.
Joe
also.
Rufino says Corrado has most of these on VHS.
So you know how Twitter has been shadow banning and knocking people off.
I
if they
got
don't
shadow
agree.
banned.
Right. Well, you didn't get shadow banned. You actually got
No, I got suspended
you got
for a
suspended.
day. But I also got no, they've nailed me twice.
Yeah, and it was because they didn't like what you were saying, and it wasn't even that you were saying anything bad, especially considering when you compare it to somebody.
Exactly, the stuff you see
know,
every day.
So
Jack from
there are alternatives that are now growing in popularity to
I don't have
Twitter.
any time. Like I don't do Pinterest. I don't do
No.
LinkedIn. I mean, there's so many sites.
but let
Everybody
me-
invites me to go to the things. I don't have any more time.
This is not on top of. This is
Okay.
instead of.
Okay.
So these are sites that are growing so fast because of people's
Because
disgust.
of Twitter being basically a communist Nazi
Right. And so
organization.
There are other sites that are growing that believe in free speech.
Give me an example. Do we have any?
Gab.
Gab, I've heard about that, but that's like a right-wing chat
one-
room.
What is Gab?
Gab is
It's like
supposedly
Is that on AOL?
It's saying people and free speech first. It's a controversial alternative to Twitter. Then there's
But I heard that's like where the right-wingers go
well
without
because
having
they're
to yell at
because they don't they're not getting
because they're the ones getting banned from Twitter.
I guess so. I don't know. I have never been on any of these, so I don't know if anybody has any knowledge of them.
Luigi
let me
was
know.
on a similar site called Gag.
Yes.
I think, yes, G-A-G, not the G-A-B.
Now here's one I just like
Watching
the name
RoboCop. That's what I was
Okay.
doing.
I like the name of this one, Mastodon.
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 Coming out soon as Mastodon. That's what you'll be saying.
Now,
That's at the Apollo Theater down off Sansom.
Wow.
Mastodon is an
No, it's not.
open source alternative to Twitter.
I
So
hate open source, man.
our
They
friend-
just
They never go
heal.
away. They never go away.
Then you
No,
peel
our
the
friend,
tab off.
I'm sure that Brian, our friend Brian, would love Mastodon because
Excuse me
it's
for
an
one
open
second.
source.
Can I need a tissue, or else I'm going to be mastodoning all over the place.
Okay.
Why are there no tissues? I just bought like 12 boxes.
I
of
don't know,
tissues.
bruh.
Grab me a tissue box.
You want to know why? Because we were watching everyone I did
No,
they did
because
last summer.
My sinuses start draining at this time of night. And then later on, something else starts draining.
I hear
That's
you.
why we were going on that stupid. I'm sorry. I just bought like 172 boxes of.
Oh, you went to Costco. That's why.
I went to BJ's.
Oh.
Why go to Costco when you can go get a BJ?
I hear you. Right? That's what they say. That's what the slogan
I
is.
actually went to Deptford the other day to get supplies.
You got a lot of balls,
I
pal.
went over there because I was hoping to get into a fight with a bunch of punks from Chuck E. Cheese who threw down the other day. You see that?
You told me about the story, but I didn't say it.
It seems like Chuck E. Cheese is now the place of choice for parents to go and throw down while their kids are trying to win kazoos by playing games and getting tickets.
Like I said, man, the pizza's all right, but it's not that good.
No, but there's like you go on the internet and look up Chuck E. Cheese violence. There's like so many brawls that happen in Chuck E. Cheese's now. Why?
I don't understand.
Your parents take their kids there. You have pizza. They go play games. You give them a couple dollars. You get them out of your hair.
Yeah, you play a little skee ball. You see the mouse do.
Yeah.
You know the band
No,
plays.
they stopped. They discontinue that. The old Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater, with all the characters. When my kids were small, I used to take them to Chuck E. Cheese, and they had a show, and it was all robotic.
Yeah, they still have that.
No, I don't. Not
Yeah,
all
they
of them.
do.
No,
Yes.
they're doing away with that. The live Chucky that used because
The ones my
son,
nephews go to, they have it there.
my middle son Chris was actually a general manager of a Chuck E. Cheese store in Delaware. And when like the person who used to be in the big Mickey in the Chucky the rat costume didn't show up, he'd have to get in the rat costume. The rat bastard.
Was there another rat out? Was the inflatable rat outside because he wasn't a non-union employee?
No.
Okay, I was making sure. Could you imagine that?
They don't go to Delaware. It's too far to drive. But anyway, so now Chuck E. Cheese is like the throwdown capital for bad parents everywhere.
Let's get it on.
Get it on. Let's go to Chucky's and throw down, bitch. I didn't like what you said to me the other day.
Meet me at Chucky's, Holmes.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why you would want to do that in front of your children. It's great.
I don't either. You know what it's called?
That's horrible parenting.
It's called
unlike
horrible parenting.
the fabulous people who are teaching their children to watch the Tony Bruno show,
Exactly.
which is fantastic parenting.
No doubt about it.
That's like the polar opposite.
Exactly. Except when Luigi runs down the list of porn movies while 5-year-olds are watching. What's the matter with you, man?
She's probably older than 5. I hope. Fingers crossed. I don't know.
So
You're going to learn
Mastodon,
today, all right?
What other sites are there?
They aren't Disney flicks. I'll tell you that much for sure.
So the other sites are, so we said Gab and Mastodon.
Mhm.
Then there's Amino.
Amino is it an acid? Do you
as
go on
in
there
an
and do acid?
Yep. Its focus is similar to Mastodon, but you're given like communities to join based on your interests.
Oh, like a cult.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like Colts.
I like Colts. I love Colts.
Do I have to buy white Nikes?
No, just get a Flyers jersey. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
Then
How about
we
the
ha-
process guys? Are they a cult?
Yes.
The guys
we
that get on an airplane and go to Milwaukee?
You got to boo Malcolm Brogdon and he's not even playing.
Now,
Jesus.
The thing that's really great about both Gab and Mastodon is that they look almost identical.
What is
to
Mastodon's mission statement?
Mastodon?
We've come back from extinction.
Where are you going with this, Tony?
Yes,
You can't keep us down.
Mastodon is out to unseat Twitter as the best microblogging social network.
How come
out
I've
there.
never heard of it?
I don't know.
Well, they're
Isn't
trying.
Mastodon a extinct creature?
Yes, Mastodon was one of those big elephant, like
The walrus.
Like a woolly mammoth.
Woolly.
Walrus. I say walrus, like a woolly
A
mammoth.
woolly mammoth. Woolly mammoth. So
It sounds like a porn movie, though. Mastodon.
Dong. Dong.
So I'm thinking that Mastodon, we should check it out. So then there's Amino, which is, and then there's also Rafter.
Rafter?
Yeah,
I didn't even.
RAFTR.
Mastodon's also like a game too.
Does Bill Raftery go in there and say onions? See Bill Raftery, the college basketball.
Oh, here's a great name.
Rafter.
The next one after that is Plurk. PLURK.
I used to play that. What isn't that with the sticks?
Plurk.
And the marbles. That was Plunk. I'm talking.
Plunk.
Kerplunk. Remember
Plurk?
Kerplunk? Remember Kerplunk?
No.
Yeah, Kerplunk is one of those board games.
I'll just leave.
I don't know.
I'll just leave. It's fine.
But it was especially popular in Taiwan.
Oh, that's why. They've got some
Plurk?
crazy games over there, man.
You ever watch the game shows?
No, I will not watch Japanese game shows. You crazy?
I think
Taiwan's
in
not
Taiwan they
Japanese,
have those
but it's
little ones with the
Asian.
little beads. What are those things?
Benoit?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no.
those
Oh,
are
not
the-
Benoit balls, Tony.
No. It's like it's all over Asia, and they have the little places that you can go. Like you
Keno?
no, it's like there are all those little mini metal beads that you can and you shoot it up, and then it goes ding 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 ding.
Well, Mastodon's also a heavy metal group from
Come
Atlanta,
on,
Georgia.
people on social media, tell me what I'm thinking.
But we play it here in this country, too?
Yeah, it's called
Kerfuffle? Kerplunk?
I can't think of it right now, but it's
Kerplanked?
No, but
No,
when
that's
you-
verplanked.
When you go over there, you can hear them.
Verklempt.
You can hear those machines from a mile away, and it's gambling, but you're not allowed to gamble.
Play a little Mastodon
so
right now while we're
you
waiting.
go, you only are allowed to get stuffed animals, but then you go down the street and you can trade your stuffed animal for money.
Dude.
Mastodon
Too much work.
mother load right here.
Give me a little Mastodon. Crank this up, man. It's a metal portion.
Video's scary.
Oh, for God's sakes! Why can't people think of what I'm?
This is
thinking of?
Headbanger's Ball portion of the Tony Bruno Show Live podcast.
It's the official video of the mother load.
No, not Keno.
No, Keno's played in Vegas by
Yeah,
old
no,
people sitting
Keno's
around in
played
the middle of the
played-
afternoon.
The money
is mine. It's mine. I finally won the
It
money.
sounds like Kerplunk, Kaplinko, Plinko.
No, the Plinko stick is what they whip out on.
No, Plinko is on Price is Right.
Exactly.
That's Plinko, which is the only reason why people watch Price is Right. That and the yodeler. I love the yodeler.
I like when they bust out the Plinko stick and go upside somebody's head on that show.
Drew Carey ain't go upside nobody's head.
This is gonna drive me nuts.
I don't know. I can envision it, but I don't know what it's called.
Robin, no one knows what you're talking about.
We have some open line. If you want to jump on in here
Riddle,
right
what
now,
up?
we have a rare open line situation.
Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Oh, Pachinko.
Wasn't he? Isn't he a trainer for?
No, he wasn't in The
Mayweather?
Godfather 1 and 2.
No.
That's Pacino.
Pachinko. God, and I had to come up with that by myself. You people out there listening are pathetic.
Kerpow.
No, it's called Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Max Power. Massagey.
No, it's Pachinko, and it's like one of those games where it's like a
Ah.
it's like a pinball machine.
Is it
but
up
it's
against the wall?
Yeah, it's up against the wall. It's like a pinball machine, but it's straight up and
Mark-
down, and then you shoot these little metal beads, and they go ching ding ding ding.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
Mark Chamberlain checks in, and he has a very good question. Speaking of Vegas, what's going on with the Vegas trip?
I know, we
What's
gotta
up with the trip to the win, bro?
I know. We need to work on
John
that.
Avello sent me a congratulatory tweet too when the Eagles won. He says, "We got killed, but congratulations
We
to
got
you
killed.
guys. They did get killed." Vegas.
I help with that. What's the So what are we doing, man? We got to get out there, bro.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with a drop of a plane ticket.
Okay.
Oh, John Sickler checks in and says, shout out to Altos Tequila, by the way. That was the sponsor for the tequila dinner we're out on Thursday night.
Speaking of Altos Tequila,
Yes.
we have gotten the go-ahead. We are going to be doing...
Wait, is this breaking news?
Well, no, we were talking about it when we were up at the tequila dinner.
No, but that means it's breaking
Right.
news because everybody who was at the tequila dinner is not right here right
That is
now,
true.
Rob. That's why it is then breaking news.
We will be doing a live remote on Cinco de Mayo, which happens to fall on a Saturday this year.
And what's the date?
Cinco de Mayo, I believe, is the 5th of May, last time I checked. And it is on a Saturday this year. We will be doing a remote live from Cantina Laredo.
In King of Prussia on Cinco de Mayo on a Saturday?
So you
Oh, yeah.
right now, you can plan your entire freaking day. You don't need to go anywhere else because we will be doing our remote live.
Yes.
We
You
haven't
want to
quite...
talk about the confluence. You know, like up in Pittsburgh, you have the confluence, the three rivers, the Susquehanna, the Allegheny, and the whatever the other one is up there.
Nobody cares.
This is the confluence of all things that are great.
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo. Saturday, where you don't have to get up and go to work.
Unless you're me, but I'm taking off.
Tequila.
And tequila.
I'm getting-
And
I'm-
the Tony Bruno show. That's like 4.
I'm going to have
How
like...
many?
I'm going to have a row of my favorite tequilas, and I'm going to have just a big plate of tacos a barbacoa right there, brother. Right
So
there,
here's
brother.
the deal.
You think I'm getting down,
Here
brother.
is the dealio. Everybody, you two shush and stop interrupting me so I can
All
get
right,
through
let's
this.
hear the details
We
now.
have not decided yet whether we're going to start at 2 or 3, but it will be either a 2 to 4 or a 3 to 5.
It's Saturday. You got to
show
start
day.
it at 2.
Well, we're at the Cantina KOP.
Yeah,
Remember, okay.
but it's at the Cantina,
Laredo, King of Prussia.
King of Prussia, and we are going to develop a special, first ever
Margarita? Oh, no.
tequila teeny, because there has never been anywhere a martini made out of tequila. And so the fantabulous Christina and I are going to come up with 2 or 3 different mixes for a special tequila martini, otherwise known, I came up with it.
Yeah, I'll just be drinking
Tequila-tina.
through a straw. It's fine.
Tequila Teeny. And anybody that shows up on that Saturday during the show will get to vote. Everybody will get little tasters for free, and you will get to vote which Tequila Teeny will be on the special menu that night, which will be the Tony Bruno special drink of the
House
night, the House Martini.
Now, also, Joe Quillen says, I'll be making bets on the Kentucky Derby that day. Let me tell you something. You think Tony Bruno and I are going to have action on the damn Derby? Are you kidding?
The race isn't until like 5 in the afternoon.
Dude, we got plenty of time. You think we're not going to be there? Tony and I are going to be at the window early, and we're going to get all the action, and we're going to sit down. We're going to start marinating over the horses, over the picks, and we're going to put in the exotics. We're not betting the win. We're betting the cash and cash big. Now, a couple years, Tony, remember, we swept the board.
I know we did.
Yep.
The Triple Crown.
Triple Crown of the Triple Crown.
We had the Triple Crown, Triple Crown.
We rode American Pharoah all the way to the bank, homie.
You're damn right. By the way, I have breaking news now from the Wells Fargo Center tonight. Guess who's in the house tonight? Helping the boy. I already mentioned Michael Kendricks is there. The mayor of Philadelphia. No, not Jim Kenney.
Allen Iverson?
No. Who's the mayor of Philadelphia?
Tony Bruno?
No. Jason Kelsey. What's the matter with you?
Oh God, that's getting old.
Jason Kelsey in the house.
It's starting
in
to jump
the
it's starting to it's jumping the shark.
In
It's
the
starting to jump the
dressing
shark.
room,
No, it
wearing
has
his
not.
Flyer sweater with the number 62 Kelsey on the back.
Does he have his mummer's shirt on too?
No, he just has his
Jesus
Flyer
Christ.
sweater on tonight.
I'm going to kick you
It's
under
starting
the
to
table.
jump the shark, Robin.
No,
It is.
No,
It is.
No,
when
it's
you
not.
when you take it and you squeeze it and you pet it and you rub it over and over and over again,
That's
you
when it
kill
gets good.
You kill. Well, yeah, well, obviously. You've been watching RoboCop. You kill it. Okay, Tony. You looking for the wine?
No, I need to get the remote on. I need to get hockey action on in the background.
Hockey action. We got 9 minutes left to go on this program. You want to watch hockey?
I want to see what the score with the Flyers and Penguins. It's a big game. It's rivalry.
No,
man.
we have to.
Doug McGregor says that he might be at the Kentucky Derby.
Is this the time of the year when the Flyers play the Penguins and everyone says, I hate Cindy Crosby, such a crybaby little bitch, but if he
Yes.
played for the Flyers, you would love him to death?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I just want to
That's
make sure.
that
Okay, I just want to make sure. People, Shane Gannon checks in and says Luigi can take Donna to the to the tequila
aren't
thing.
you gonna have some kind of a special?
Yeah, actually,
Donna dating game?
I'm doing the dating game with Donna.
With Jim Lang. Can I be Jim Lang?
You are going to be Jim Lang. I'm going to hosting for 3 suitors to come in, and
Bruce Suter, Gary Suter.
suitor number
and,
1, suitor number 2, suitor number 3 to vibe for a date with Donna. It'll start out with a complimentary cocktail hour over at Moonshine, a little meet and greet, a few Pinot Grigios to kind of warm everybody up. And then you'll take Donna out on a date, and you'll come back a week later, and we'll see if we can make a love connection, basically, kind of a thing.
Wow. Now, you also have something else going on, right?
Wait a minute, we're promoting our big Cinco de Mayo thing, but Luigi's got it separate. This is separate from the Cinco de Mayo.
I'm not promoting anything. I'm just she asked me about Donna, and I brought that up. But I'm also I'm hosting a.
We don't need to say anything more about the Cinco de Mayo thing. All you need to know is don't plan anything else. Come to Cantina Laredo, King of Prussia,
And
on
get-
Cinco de Mayo,
get whacked.
and be with us all day long, because after the show is over, we will stay there and we're gonna party like it's 19.
Especially after we bang the Kentucky Derby winner.
Now,
I didn't even realize, but that is the first Saturday in May, and it's Cinco de Mayo. I knew Cinco de Mayo was on a Saturday. I didn't realize
So we're
it
gonna
was
have
Kentucky Derby
a
Day.
Cinco de Mayo / Kentucky Derby Day.
Now, see, Joe Quillen says now Tony has to be Chuck Woolery. Now, I already said I'm going to be Chuck Woolery. You could be Jim Lang, but I'm going to be Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Willery was Love Connection.
We're going to combine them both. But what I'm doing
Will you
though
be back
also
in 2 and 2?
what I'm also
In the
doing
butt,
is
Bob.
this
Yeah.
is for everyone. This is for
That's the
this is for the
really
Funk and
right.
Fancy crowd, but also for Bruno Nation, because all the people that are listening on Tony's on Facebook Live now and through social media. I'm hosting a free 1 entry per person. Now the stipulation is you have to be following the shows, okay? But I'm putting up $100 of my own money for March Madness. Person with the best bracket wins. If you win, you come on down to Moonshine on Thursday night. If you're in the city, you pick up your cash. If you're out of state, I'll mail you a certified check. All you got to do is finish first. That's it.
And how much you getting?
$100 cash.
A hundo?
People play for free all the time, right,
Yeah.
Tony? This costs you nothing. All you have to do is just follow the show.
Now
That's
you can check whether somebody
It's on ESPN. I'm going to be tweeting out the link through ESPN. It's called the Funk and Fancy Bracket. And you can click the link, and Tony will put it out as well. And all you do is click the link, make sure you're following the show, and then you just enter the bracket. And you can go on ESPN. You can check the leaderboard daily.
And so
It's open to everyone. Kids can play, whoever.
Is it just following or subscribing or like?
Well, you want to be subscribed to Tony Bruno Show as it is already on
Exactly.
on other different platforms. But you want to make sure you're liking the Tony Bruno Show on Twitter, following everything like that. Because if I go there and I check and see and you're not subscribed to the show, guess what? You're forfeiting. You're not winning.
Exactly.
You have to. That's the only catch. All you gotta do is follow the damn show.
So it's like free money potentially.
People play in office pools all the time, and they play for free, or they got to play with 10 people and they win a couple bucks. I mean, obviously this is a much bigger pool. There'll be thousands of people playing, but this costs you absolutely nothing. And if you win, you're getting $100, and I'm putting the money up out of my own. Now again, if I win, I'm keeping my money. I'm going to keep my money because I'm putting my money where my mouth is, saying I'm going to have the best bracket.
Okay.
So all you have to do is just have the best bracket. You can check on ESPN. The link will be there. It'll give you the updated scores. It's all legit
how's
scoring.
it going to be on ESPN?
Because it's in the ESPN bracket challenge. Some people use CBS. I've set it up through ESPN. All you do is click the link. You'll be invited to come in.
Oh, okay.
You fill out your bracket. I'm going to be posting it on Friday. So
Will
it's
they be talking about it on Around the Horn and all those other shows?
no,
on
they don't give a
Luigi's
crap.
Bracket?
No, they won't give a crap
okay.
about that. But it'll catch on. It's not like the bracket of the sheet of integrity.
Yeah.
But you're only allowed to have one. I'm only allowing one entry per person. I've capped it at that. But get your kids to play. Get grandmom to play. You can, Tony. You obviously you're eligible to play this too.
I don't
that's
do
the one,
brackets
No, that's the
anymore.
one best part about this. All employees of the Tony Bruno Show program are eligible to play for this. Your kids
Damn
can
right.
play. I mean, it's a free shot to win $100. What the hell?
Damn right.
Gotcha.
So
I don't know if
But
my
you know
time is worth trying to win.
Tony, you fill
$100.
out enough crap. You can take 2 seconds to fill out the bracket.
I only fill out like HGTV Dream Home applications
You know
every
what
day.
is an
This is
even-
$100 closer to your dream home.
You know what? It's an even better guarantee.
What?
Having a good time Cinco de Mayo
Yep.
with us at Cantina Laredo.
Yes, it is.
The food is going to be great. The drinks are going to be
Oh.
flowing.
And the
We're gonna
weather's
be
gonna be nice,
there.
too.
Well, I
Oh
hope so.
God, please let it be good.
And we're gonna be drinking tequila. We're gonna be eating great food. We're gonna be watching the horsies. I mean, what better night can you get?
You want a good night? Get around Tony and I
Hello?
doing a horse race. It's gonna go crazy. Shoot the two! Shoot the two!
So make your reservations now. Call Cantina Laredo. Tell them how excited you are, and be there.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I'll get with.
That's 2 months away, Robin. So I
Yeah,
think
but
we can
still though,
relax.
you got to get it in. You got to put it in the mind.
Yes.
You got to put it in the mind.
By the way, it's not my style to rip people, as you know, because that's not what I do. And we were talking about the LeBron billboards. Remember we had the guy on from
What do you
Power?
got?
last week talking about the LeBron billboards in Cleveland, right near the Quicken Loans Arena, the three of them.
Right.
Not to be outdone, but to be outdumbed. In Los Angeles now, do you see what they did in L.A.?
No, what did they do?
This one guy put up a billboard.
Snake Plissken?
Not Snake Plissken. No, he escaped a long time ago. Okay. Hashtag LeBron. So it's got a purple Lakers jersey with the crown over the number 23, and it says hashtag LeBron. Cleveland and Philadelphia, you can't compete with L.A. And then right under it, where its sponsorship is mentioned, like Power has just a little thing in the corner. But this guy who paid for this has called Jacob.com. I saw this earlier today,
hell was Jacob?
And I knew.
Immediately.
You
called it like
I put it up
within
on
a
Twitter
second.
the second I saw it. This is some ambulance chasing dirtbag lawyer, of which there are many of the ambulance chasing variety.
And it's a good living if you can get it.
Yes, it is. A lawyer in L.A. trying to get business, going the pimp LeBron. And somebody points out, it's interesting to note here that this lawyer, Jacob.com, somehow didn't put up a billboard the last time LeBron was thinking about going somewhere else. Remember when the Lakers had Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, well, LeBron finally, LeBron.
It's about damn time.
He was waiting for it.
But I'm saying, why would LeBron go to L.A.? He already has a mansion there.
He's not going.
And I'm not saying he's coming to Philly either. I don't know. But this billboard campaign in L.A. is lame. You think Hollywood does all things? This is the lamest billboard I've ever seen.
I haven't seen the physical billboard yet.
It's hideous. It's just
can I
the
say it?
yellow. It's it's the purple and gold. So it's gold.
Let me say it.
So it's a Laker color, and all it has is hashtag LeBron. And
Oh,
if this guy-
L.A. Bron. LeBron.
Yeah, I get it. You get it?
Forget the process. We win banners.
I think even Jimmy Kimmel viewers will get that one.
Dude.
L.A. Bron.
This is
He's probably
lame,
going to go out and
bro.
interview people, asking them what L.A. Bron means in front of the Pantages Theater where he does a show, and 99% of them won't know what he's talking about. Thank you.
Paul by Superfan.
Superfan, and he's a lawyer. And you know my feeling for lawyers.
Disgraziato.
And this guy, I looked him up, and guess what he is?
A lawyer.
A lawyer.
Not just a lawyer. Not just any lawyer.
An ambulance chasing lawyer?
Exactly.
Bron ain't going to L.A., bro.
Does
I
he
don't
have
know
those-
where he's going. I'm
does
just saying
he have
it's
those
elitist.
commercials out to say, if you've been in an accident,
Probably. Usually at 2 a.m. during the nightly marathon of Twilight Zone and Outer Limits that I watch every night.
I know you're hooked, man. You got to get off of that.
No, you don't.
No,
Why?
yes, you do because it's making you not be able to sleep, pal.
Then I watched him. I was watching Patagonia last night on National Geographic.
Tony.
you have to
Patagonia.
say it. Patagonia.
Patagonia.
You know where Patagonia is, don't you?
It is the southernmost tip for just,
a
a
second.
second.
In
See how
South
it
America.
feels.
It's
Chile.
almost like you're in the Antarctic. It's cold
Chile.
down at the bottom of South America, Cape Horn, the most dangerous body of water on Earth. It's where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans come together.
Is it just like really bad surf there? Is that what that is?
Oh yeah, I mean
It's cold. You don't think of that as being South America, but it's freezing down there.
yeah, you're basically almost at the bottom of the Earth, which is where this show goes to many, many nights. And then I watched another show about Costa Rica and the canopy and all the
And they
different
have
animals.
the most colorful animals in the entire
It's
world.
unbelievable, man. I'm going to move and live in the jungles of Costa Rica.
No.
In a
There's
jungle?
too many snakes.
There's snakes. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
No snakes.
Poisonous snakes.
Yes.
Vipers.
Vipers.
Vipers, yo.
Viper. I didn't even.
Not the kind you meet in a club on a Saturday night.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
I am pissed off.
And now
Thank
I
you,
am
Aaron.
not scared of snakes.
I am.
But I don't need them. I don't want to be startled by them.
I don't
And
mess
when
with anything without a backbone, bro.
When I
Don't
lived
do it.
when I lived in Guam, we had the brown tree snake there, which was prolific. It actually decimated almost all of the wildlife, the birds. Birds were non-existent practically on Guam.
So
because
Lexington
of
Steel
this.
lived there. Is that what that
Exactly,
was?
yes.
And it was a major issue. Now, the brown tree snake would constantly get tangled up in the high wires, so there was constantly power outages. Yeah, I'm done with snakes.
I like snakes. By the
I
way,
like
let's
them.
get a live shot of Riddle right now, which means one
Is he
thing.
assed out?
We know that the show is almost over. And you know how we know that?
Wait, you have to let me.
Where's
let
the
me
damn
do
cat
the
at? Where's
thing.
he
He's
at?
right behind us now. We're going to show you a live shot.
Oh, is he back up? Is he stomach up?
No, not quite.
Oh, he's done.
He
He's
is
done.
zoned out, baby. He is zoned out like Robert Hagg boarding one of the Pittsburgh Penguins. in
You know,
the
did
first
the
period.
Flyers go into the after the first intermission 1-0?
They're down 1-0.
Down
after
1-0. Okay.
But a beautiful feed from Malkin. And it was a no doubt
And they
about
put the
it.
biscuit
Easy goal
in
in
the
the
mother
basket.
humping basket.
And
Damn
look
right.
and we have to cover the damn sofa down here just because of them.
See the
is
little
out.
riddle in
Actually,
there?
because of him in particular.
As my good buddy Jim Rome would say, rack him. He's out.
Rack that cat.
Rack that cat. He is out. Cold. Look at him.
He's the only one who came down tonight too.
He is.
Lily, Sir Lawrence, they're hanging out somewhere else.
He was listening to our. He was once Luigi started going into the porn movie names.
You almost fell over laughing,
I
bro.
did.
Some of them were good though.
They
brother.
were good. That's the kind of originality you don't get in Hollywood.
Lawrence
you only get
Harper
that up in-
labia.
You only get that kind of originality, not in Hollywood.
was so
At the
bad.
major studios, you only get that in Encino and in the Valley, where they produce the only quality films still being churned out.
They
by
made some of those at
Hollywood.
your house, didn't they?
Yes, they did in Venice.
Can I ask you, how does that work? Did they just like approach you, knock on the door, and say, "Excuse me, can we bang in your
Yes,
house for a
that's
few
what they
dollars?"
do. That's
Really?
what they do.
And they paid you for that.
Yep.
What did they
said,
pay
"Can
you for
we
that?
use your house? You might, and it wasn't just for porn. I did it for MTV. I did it for
MTV?
Miami.
Were you on Cribs?
No. What was it? The Florida crime show. The redheaded guy that people made fun
With
of.
LaRusso, CSI Miami.
Yeah,
CSI Miami.
Taped
They
in
filmed-
California.
They taped a lot of their external stuff because there's palm trees in L.A. So rather than flying all the way to Miami, they would shoot on my street, pretending that it was Miami. They
David
would shoot-
David Caruso. That's what it was.
David Caruso.
The most overacting person in the history of
Oh, man. And you know what else they used to film in my neighborhood? They filmed Californication
Right.
in Venice, in my neighborhood, with the what's his face from David Duchovny.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And they also filmed. They just brought it back again too. They filmed it on Mother's Beach there in Santa Monica.
The game. What was it? A game show?
No,
it was
no, it's a TV
Baywatch?
show. No,
They just brought it back on like Netflix.
I don't.
It's bugging me now. The bald guy who just got thrown off the show was on it.
I'm not sure.
I
don't
can't
know,
think
I don't
of
know
it
what
now.
it
My
is.
brain is shot.
But I got to ask you though, seriously.
Yes.
What?
So when a porn is being shot in your house, where are you, Tony Bruno?
You can stay if you want.
No, it's not just that. You don't have to be. I'm not asking if he was the key grip or anything. I'm sure he had his grip on something. What I'm asking is, what? How does a negotiation for that work? Is there a flat fee?
No, they ask
They
you.
charge
to
by the
negoti-
hour. Like what do you?
You
What do you do?
negotiate. You sit down.
Oh, you sit down. You have a nice little coffee or something
Bring
like
out
that.
calamari for the
Yeah,
table.
exactly.
You go down to
You put-
CNO
yeah,
Trattoria.
yeah,
right?
you put calamari for the table before they put their calamari on your table. You know what I'm
Exactly
saying?
right.
So what's the negotiation like? Can I
And then,
ask?
and then they do say, do we have access to the entire house, or are we
Is this
only
a
allowed
four?
to
Can I
use
ask you
certain
what-
rooms?
Was this a four-figure deal or a five-figure deal?
No, this isn't a lot of money.
A couple bucks.
No, it's like $300 for a couple hours. What are you going to say? No, you're not going to use my
Yeah.
for a couple hours.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
crap.
not letting you bang in my house for $300.
Why not?
Do
Your
they
house
cle-
is
They
featured.
bring the
in major-
sheets. They bring the sheets. Clean
Do
sheets.
they clean up afterwards?
Absolutely. You know who didn't clean up? MTV. I let them rent my house for Date My Mom. Remember that show, Date My Mom?
No.
There was a series called Date My Mom, and they used my house. And the bastards, because I wasn't home for that, I went out. I came back. They drank all my booze.
That's rude.
Because I had an open booze cabinet in my dining room.
Robin, Christian was staying at the house that time.
Hey now.
Get out! Get
All right,
out!
enough about my old house.
Oh man, not this old house.
Not this one.
All right.
But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for checking in tonight and weathering the storm. Snowmageddon, Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Hopefully this is it for winter, because I'm sick and tired of winter.
Now we're supposed to get another one next
Seriously,
week, brother.
Everybody needs to make sure that you are subscribed to anything that Tony Bruno has on all social media,
Exactly.
so that you get updated when
And you don't
there's
have to
something
pay.
special
We're not
going on.
charging you anything for this. This is out of the goodness of our hearts.
And would you please freaking share the goddamn show? I can't believe how many people don't share this show.
Share it.
It is so freaking easy.
You share
take-
Kardashian skank stuff all the time.
all you need to do is you just need to click on this little share button and hit boop, click it. Just share. Boom. It's done. It takes you like less than a second.
What's the matter with you people?
With chew.
Chew.
And it doesn't even have to be live. You can share it at any time, but just tell
Really?
your friends to follow the show.
Because if you're not following the show, you can't play in the bracket, brother.
You're damn
And if you're not following the show, you don't know what's going on. And then you're going to be like totally left out and you're going to feel like a total schlub afterwards.
Then you're going to be depressed and you're going to move to Seattle and start listening to grunge.
Yep, and you don't get free tequila on Cinco de Mayo.
You're damn right.
Can we go home now?
Yes.
Thank you.
But again, thank everybody. Thanks to Sheil Kapadia.
Yes.
Follow him on Twitter at Sheil Kapadia and, of course, his podcast. And at The Athletic. Great site with great writers. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Funk and Fantasy on Tuesday. Tony Bruno Show Wednesday.
What else you need?
What else do you need?
Holy podcast, Batman.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive. Don't shovel heavy, wet snow. You
it'll
can
melt
get
tomorrow.
plowed tonight. But most importantly, don't text and drive, and God bless America.
We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to the
Tony Bruno Show.